Okay, welcome back. Hi, it's the lore stream now. It's not the boss fight stream any longer. Um, something's going on with my internet. I'm having a big scuff, big scuff. Um, can I take down my videos? Edit videos. Can I take them down? Yeah, I can delete them. Perfect. And I can edit them. Well, at least can I? Okay, no. I don't understand this. This is weird. It's fine. Twitch is weird. Still, who are Godseeker and the Grim Troop? I know who. I did the two bosses from this, I think, from the Hidden Dreams, because I'm pretty sure it's Zote the Almighty and the shield guy we fought. I have no idea where the hell the Grim Troop is. That's 4 charms that I could find still. Wow. Lifeblood is just a tweak. And the markers. Amazing things. And the God Master is something I don't know either. I think at least. I did not finish the Godseeker's quest, did I? Who is the Godseeker? Or is the Godseeker... Hornet? Never. No, it's not Hornet, right? Right. Wait, what's going on here? Okay, yeah. Right, I should... Okay, while we wait, because I am waiting for a very specific viewer to join my chat. Until then, what can I do? Okay, let's check something. Journal here. I can still encounter like 5 different enemies. And I have to complete a bunch more. How can I see if I have this completed? Oh. That's how. Leaping husks. I don't know, this seems... I'm very bothered by already having finished the boss fight. I didn't mean to enter. Sup, Hornet. How you doing? I'm sure you survive once at least. I want to find out if I can... Huh? Okay, let's see if I can find somewhere. Could there be an entire area down here in the Royal Waterways that I have not found yet? Yeah, there could be an entire area, right? Ow. Let's just go into the Royal Waterways. So I'm gonna head over to the King's Station for that. There's also a bunch of NPCs that I still don't understand what they do. Like the mask guy. No idea what he could do. I should take back the Wayward Compass again. Oops. My bad. I should... Technical difficulties made me restart the stream. I should do... why did I go up? I want to go down. Then left. Whee! Let's get rid of this. Take this, let's get rid of this, and let's take... let's take this. Because why not? Okay, yeah, there has to be something on the left side, right? What's that? Oh god. There has to be something here, right? What's going on? Ah! Was ist das, Igitt? The mask. Oh. Ah! Was I even down here? I feel like I wasn't even down here once. I have to turn down the SFX audio, I think. Sound volume. Let's turn it down by 2. Yeah. Okay, let's turn it up by 1 again. I don't remember being here. I know that you're also an enemy. Hello, you little worms. There's an entire worm area here. That I completely failed to find. But also, it's not... It's not like this worm area has... Oh! Wait. Oh! What's this? An entire new area? I love new areas. With an NPC, I guess. What's that? Oh my god, what is that? What is that? This thing deals a lot of damage. What the hell is this? Wait! Oh my god! Come back here, I need to fight you. Okay, this area is much more dangerous than I thought it would be. I can also just not fight these guys, right? I could just dodge them. This is money. Do you get a secret achievement for 10,000? These are easy with the big dash, but not without the big dash. This is not easy. Now where's that singing that I heard? Am I tripping? I think I am tripping. Where are we? Actually, where are we? Junk pit. Sup? Sup? What are you doing? How are you? A cocoon chained with a simple lock. I don't have a simple key. No. Oh, these are chests. I wanted to do a Hollow Knight lore stream today, but I'm still waiting for certain viewers to appear to be watching this together. What the? That is so cute. How? Where am I getting another simple key? I'm doing great. I had some technical difficulties sadly earlier, which made me restart my stream, but I'm doing great now. What's this? Hello? This is not the way I came from, right? The fungal wastes? I have not played Silksong. I'm playing Hollow Knight in advance because I wanted to play Hollow Knight first. It is in preparation technically for Silksong, but I'm not gonna be playing Silksong for a while now. It is in my library already, and I will be playing it at some point. And also on stream, just not yet. Where? Oh my god, we're back here? Where am I gonna find a simple key for that cocoon? Okay, that is... crazy. But I did fight, because I had to restart my stream, it's now 2 streams today. I did fight the final boss today and beat him. Which is why I'm doing a lore stream now, because I beat the final boss already. Okay, map says I have a junk pit there now. Huh. I still think that there is another area somewhere. Is there one above the failed tramway, below the Queen's Gardens? Huh. Oh, you're a streamer too? Hell yeah! And how was your stream? You really enjoyed the game? That's great. I really want to play it as well. But I wanted to play Hollow Knight first just because it is the base game. Even if Silksong is a prequel, I wanted to play Hollow Knight first. Where could we go now? We found the hive. Your favorite part about Silksong is our little lady. Wait, I can... You know what? Let's go visit her, cause she's waiting. Wait, what was here? Right, just something. Nice! Did you do the true ending as well? Like the Radiance boss? How much did you do? Ow. Whee! Took me so long to find this double jump. Now I couldn't even play without it, I think. Okay, I want to go. Zio, what's up? We can start the lore stream now, technically. Zio, I did the Radiance already. I only took 2 tries today. So we beat the Radiance after 6 tries. I didn't think that I would beat it already. Thank you. Like, hello, what's up? There's so many people today. Main story, but didn't go for all endings yet. That is good to know. If you want to see the other endings, we are gonna do the other endings. Not today. But yeah. Also, I found the junk pit. What's up, gamer from below the sea? Hello. I got the normal Hollow Knight ending with before King's Soul. I got the Sealed Siblings ending thanks to Zio. And I got the final ending right now, the one that I did in my earlier part of the stream, technically. I don't remember what it's called. What is it called? Achievements. Dream No More. Wait, the Sealed Siblings ending, less players got that one than the Dream No More ending. Oh, that's kind of sad. Well, we are going to do a Hollow Knight lore stream now, which means I am going to react to... Hell yeah! I am going to react to the mossbag video now. Exactly. I'm going to watch that one right now. Yeah, boy, we're gonna do that. It is not 2 hours, it's only 1 hour and 20 minutes, or is this the wrong one? Do I have to... Let's check this, wait. Sorry, I'm late. Hollow Knight lore mistakes. Okay, no. Okay, guys, we are going to start watching this, and afterwards we're gonna do watch the correction video, just because I want to know what he made wrong. Okay.
Stefan, von Rittersport gibt's jetzt eine mit Erdnuss.
Erdnuss?
Erdnuss.
Lecker.
No, I hate this.
Sweet,
How can I...
sweet. Axe Fine Fragrance Collection.
I don't like advertisements.
If you were to ask me, what is your favorite video game ever made? I would have to say Cory in the House for the Nintendo DS. But Hollow Knight would be a close second. Hollow Knight was released on February 24th.
No image? Ah, right. Wait. I'm sorry. Here we go. I think now it's done.
2017 by Team Cherry, an indie game studio based in the mythical land of Adelaide, South Australia. Over the past 3 years, Hollow Knight has become an indie darling. The game has sold over 3.5 million copies. It was the opening game at ADGQ 2019. There's a Hollow Knight book, a line of plushies, t-shirts, nicotine patches, nuclear warheads, and even vinyl records for all you goddamn hipsters. Team Cherry had one goal when making Hollow Knight. They wanted to create a world that allowed players to get completely lost in exploration. We can see this desire in Hollow Knight's design.
Sick.
The levels in Hollow Knight are massive, with secrets and rewards hidden in every nook and cranny. Be that powerful charm.
If I hadn't found the hive
with secrets and rewards,
I would have been so mad at this cutscene because I was like, what can I do now? How can I enter the hive? And I was stumbling about around the hive for like 20 minutes or something before finding this
hidden in every nook and cranny. Be that powerful charms, special abilities, or the game's navigation system requires the player to work for their map, forcing them to make a stronger mental image of the world in their head. Christopher Larkin's score and Ari Gibson's artwork lend to this as well, creating an atmosphere that the player won't want to leave. But there's one aspect of Hollow Knight that keeps people like me coming back: the world building. When Super Metroid launched in 1994, it stood out for its amazing sense of immersion. Now in 1994, I was busy not being alive, but I've watched enough YouTube video essays to know that this game was a big deal.
Yeah.
In case you didn't know, Super Metroid is basically the granddaddy of all Metroidvanias. That's why they're called Metroidvanias. Now in Super Metroid, there are moments that give the player a sense of depth. Basically the feeling that this world exists outside of Samus's interactions with it. In the room right before that diabetic crocodile thing, Samus can find the corpse of a random soldier. His inclusion here doesn't change the gameplay at all, but instead gives the player a sense of wonder about the world they are exploring. Who was this guy? Why was he here in the first place? Did he like jazz? Now, finding
the thing is, I have to admit that Hollow Knight is my first actual Metroidvania. But the lore building of Hollow Knight reminds me so much of Elden Ring that if Elden Ring was a 2D game platformer, it would also be a Metroidvania. And how did I come to play Hollow Knight? Because my brother is an avid fan of Metroidvania in general. He does play the new Metroid games, and he's younger than me. So, yeah.
Dead bodies and other random garbage is pretty cool, right? Well, Hollow Knight basically does the same thing.
I found that
about
area right
a dozen
now.
times. Through its world building, Hollow Knight turns Hallownest into a living kingdom. You can sense the ancient history of the land when you look at dilapidated structures or giant barred doors. Nothing feels like it was put into the game randomly. There's a reason for it all. Except those reasons aren't the easiest to uncover.
What's that? Wait, what's that? What was that?
Hollow Knight's narrative is
wait. What?
The reason for it all. Except those reasons.
What's that? Where is that? Is that inside the city? Wait. Secret and Tower of Love. But I did find the grub already there. I found all of the grubs. Right? Did I not see this last time? Did I just ignore it? Am I just not remembering it? Damn!
Reasons aren't the easiest to uncover. Hollow Knight's narrative is buried
but
under layers
there is a
Nothing feels like it was put into the game randomly. There's a reason for it all. Except those.
There are a lot more rooms in the game hidden. Oh my god, secret room with lore implications. That is still an amazing room. I thought there was a grub because there is like the metal thing that the grubbies are caged in on the floor. So I thought that there was gonna be a grub in there, but is this some kind of grub god? What the hell? There has to be more. Yeah, I know that there have to be much more hidden rooms that I haven't found yet because I'm still missing 6 charms as an example.
Reasons aren't the easiest to uncover. Hollow Knight's narrative is buried under layers of NPC dialogue, item descriptions, lore tablets, and even additional content like the Quarrel comic and Fangamer's Wanderer's Journal.
Whoa.
These past 3 years have seen an insane amount of research by the Hollow Knight
There was
community
the Grim Troop.
to make sense
I
of
don't
Team
know who the
Cherry's
Grim Troop
sprawling
was yet.
world. We've even made it to the point where people are looking at the in-game signs to try and decipher Hallownest's logographic language. In this video, I hope to give you a long and detailed look into the world of Hollow Knight, exploring Hallownest's history and uncertain future. When I'm not busy making surprisingly accurate Super Smash Bros. Roster speculation videos, or insightful podcasts about beloved subjects like the Donkey Kong Country television series,
What is
or
that?
whatever this
A
was supposed to
Donkey
be, I'm usually making videos about Hollow Knight. And while I am a seasoned Hollow Knight lore expert, I cannot confirm that every musing or theory presented in this video is completely correct. I highly recommend checking out the lore section of the Hollow Knight wiki if you want a more neutral explanation of Hollow Knight's lore. But if you're too lazy to read, then I suggest you sit back, order some Domino's pizza,
it's an amazing video.
or just grab a block of cheese from the fridge, and enjoy the mostly complete lore of Hollow Knight. It's a simple fact of life that every human worships a god, be that technology, ideologies, or in rare cases, God. As it turns out, the bugs in Hallownest pretty much operate in the same way. From the mosskin born from the dream of a giant slug, to the emo kids of the ancient civilization who literally worship the darkness, there is no shortage of things to worship in the world of Hollow Knight. Our story begins with a creature very much worthy of worship. A creature born from the carcass of a worm. The carcass can still be found in the Kingdom's Edge, and it's our only good look at what worms actually looked like. At the time Hollow Knight occurs, it is suggested there are no worms left in the world. They were incredibly long creatures that featured little to no limbs. Another more mysterious property of worms was that they had some kind of prescience or foresight. Basically, they could see the future to some capacity. It isn't clear how effective this ability was. Considering how the entire race went extinct, this foresight ability must have been pretty shit. Getting back to this particular worm carcass, it is explained that this worm traveled across the
Who says that if you can look into the future, you can also change it?
distant mountains and wastelands beyond Hallownest. Once it arrived in Hallownest, the worm died.
Damn!
Except not
it just
really.
died.
Inside the maw of the carcass sits a pale broken egg, out of which hatched a new form of worm, a being of meager shell. This form of the worm is usually referred to as the Pale King, and he's the character basically responsible for everything that happens in Hollow Knight.
Yeah,
The Pale King is a higher being, a type of creature that exists above all others. His body was said to shine with a radiant visage that harmed those who looked upon him. The ultimate goal of the Pale King seemed to be in line with that of other worms. A line from the cryptic Mr. Mushroom reads, "Worms pull bugs into their thrall, till ages pass and kingdoms fall." In other words, it's just in their nature. Dogs wag their tails, cats bury their shit, and worms bring massive amounts of bugs into their service in order to form long-standing kingdoms and civilizations.
Oh, so
And here in a far corner of the world, the Pale King emerged from the corpse of his former self and began to build his eternal kingdom, Hallownest. There's this one slight problem.
Very
There's
eternal.
like people already living there. The area that would eventually become Hallownest was
Whoa! Is that the entire map? Wait, let's check it. Did we miss something? Kickstarter map. Oh, okay. Let's see if I can find something where I have not been yet. Oh. Wait. This Kickstarter map is very accurate though. There is no junkyard, right? In this Kickstarter map. I'm not seeing a junkyard, but it's not like I haven't been to any of these locations. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have been to all of these locations. If they exist. I'm checking if there is something that they didn't bring into the game. But it seems like all of the Kickstarter junk with this DLC, so Kickstarter came out before it existed. Oh. Okay. Wait, I could check the Lake of Un again. Oh my god, I could do that. I should do that. Now, oh my god, that is good to know. I can check the Lake of Un again now that I have the Crystal Dash and anti-acid swimming. I haven't been into Green Path in such a long time.
Already filled with mantises, bees, moths, spiders, mushrooms,
I'm not
and
gonna
bush
boot it up right
cosplayers.
now, but I am gonna.
Each of these groups were already
Check it out.
operating with their own cultures and societies,
After the
and
video.
each group had a different interaction with the Pale King. One of the more receptive groups to the arrival of the Pale King were the mushrooms of the fungal wastes. These creatures were able to communicate with one another through one shared mind. The mushrooms viewed this shared mind as a strength, and they were kind of smug dickheads about it. Ultimately, the mushrooms wearily accepted the Pale King's rule, viewing his foresight as a shield to the dangers of the future. Another group living in the fungal wastes is the Mantis tribe. The Mantises have a rich cultural history reaching back to long before the birth of Hallownest.
We love the
The
Mantis.
Mantises are a proud tribe, believing in the importance of proving one's physical strength. The Mantises are fiercely territorial, but will show respect to those who display great power. These Fight Club enthusiasts were led by 4 powerful Mantis Lords, who I guess just kind of sat around waiting for outsiders to challenge them. The Mantis tribe had no interest in the Pale King's kingdom, but the two communities did come to a truce. In exchange for their independence from Hallownest, the Mantis tribe kept the beasts of Deepnest from invading Hallownest. Not sure why they didn't just go out the other exits from Deepnest, but whatever. I'm not an expert on border patrol. I don't work at ICE anymore. Let's move on to Deepnest.
Wait, what?
Now, many of the different tribes of Hallownest were kind enough to leave lore tablets behind, detailing pretty much everything we need to know about them. Unfortunately, the bugs of Deepnest didn't do that. We know that the spiders of Deepnest had a monarchy because why not? Those are always good, right? Also, within Deepnest are a separate group of spiders that immigrated to Deepnest at some point in the past. This group was known as the Weavers, and they established their own culture and history within Deepnest. They used looms of silk to weave stories, spells, and shields. One thing we know for sure about Deepnest is
Wait, there were silk? There was spider silk in the hidden station as well, right? Or am I tripping? I remember.
that they really didn't want anything to do with Hallownest. The struggles of Deepnest-Hallownest relations would become painfully clear as time goes on, but for right now, it seems like the two remained fairly isolated from one another. Another section of pre-Hallownest includes Green Path. Now, as far as we can tell, the mushrooms, mantises, and spiders of Deepnest didn't worship any higher beings. There is this giant mushroom corpse in the fungal core, but I don't think this is a higher being. I mean, who the hell would want to worship a fat-ass mushroom? Fat-ass slugs? Now that's dope.
Whoa! What is that? It looks so cute. Is that the Lake of Un? Or is that like? I never saw. Okay,
the
I
land
never
we know
saw
as
this.
Green Path was created by the higher being known as Un.
It's a big
Un
slug.
used her great mind to
Or
dream
it's
the
Un.
vegetation of Green Path into the once barren caverns.
Yeah, I do want to know what it is. Tell me. If it doesn't come up in the video, tell me. It is on. Okay. So that's why he wants me to boot up the game real quick.
Un's followers, the Mosskin, were also born out of Un's dream, making her their creator.
Why?
Green Path at its height was actually much
Damn.
larger than we see in game. At one point, Green Path stretched
Yeah,
into both
boy.
modern-day Queen's Garden and possibly Fog Canyon. Green Path's citizens showed themselves to be a fairly developed society. They built a temple at the Lake of Un in order to worship her, and they even had their own line of defense,
I pushed someone into the lake. I didn't mean to.
with Moss Knights showing proficiency in combat, using nails and shells as weapons. The Law of Un continued to remain in effect even after the Pale King arrived, but it seems like they allowed the king to establish a road through their lands, leading travelers to the heart of Hallownest. Hence the name Green Path. Yeah, Team Cherry really racked their brains when naming this area, didn't they? Next,
Damn! Why so mean towards Team Cherry? Mossbag.
we have the bees. And while there is no lore on how these bees can turn into fucking drills, or how they can ignore all known laws of aviation, We do know how they reacted to the Pale King. These bugs decided to seal their hive off from the rest of the world, with only patrol bees being able to enter and exit the hive. So yeah, the bees are pretty much pointless in this story. And finally we have the Moth Tribe. In-game, the only moth settlement is in the resting grounds, but the tribe might have also inhabited the Crystal Peak at one point. Now as we all know, moths in real life are just complete assholes. As for the moths in Hollow Knight, well, it's a bit complicated. The moth race is described as being a rather pacifist group, with few ever choosing to take up a weapon. During the Pale King's reign, the moth race delved amongst
Mossbag, because he foresaw the horror. Silk some PTSD. Hell yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, Mossbag. I didn't say anything bad about you.
dreams and the dead, displaying the importance of remembering those who have passed, as well as learning how to shape dreams themselves. Similar to the
Wait,
moth
but the seer said that they were a criminal. What do you mean pacifist? I've seen a moth with a lance. I've seen the seer, who is a war criminal, and I have seen the radiance. Yeah, the seer. The seer said something about they have to stay in the resting grounds because of their crimes. So either the seer is a criminal, or their race was a criminal towards Hallownest. They were banished into the resting grounds. At least that's what the. Nah, you have to read. No. Yeah, go check it for yourself. But I'll tell you, the seer did talk about crimes. They had to sit up. They had to guide me because of their own crimes. They're a war criminal.
The Moth Tribe was born from a
Wait. Ooh, I'm a war criminal. Yes, I'm the seer.
higher being known as the Radiance. The Radiance is described as being a light in which the Moth Tribe
Big
basked.
ass moth.
So she was basically a giant lamp to them. Another important aspect about the Radiance is her ties to dreams and a substance known as essence. Essence are the remains of wishes and dreams, and are
Fine.
represented in-game by these dream catcher particle effects. Essence can
You know what? Below the sea. Fine. I still believe the seer is a war criminal.
take the form
Sorry.
of whispering roots, as well as dream ghosts, both of which are memories taking root in the world. The Radiance appears to be a creature made of essence, but she isn't the only higher being to give off essence. Un has green particles, the Pale King has gray particles, and this sexy character named Grim gives off.
Where can I find them? Okay. I'm gonna sit tight. The thing is, where can I find the Grim troop? I want to know where they are. Just tell me, like, kind of the location, so I can find them at some other point in time. They're at the Howling Cliffs? No way! Oh, I have to check out the Howling Cliffs more then. Okay. Next Hollow Knight stream is gonna be finding the next charms, finding the secrets of the Hallownest, because I have not found the Grimm's troop and I want to find them, and I want to check out Un. We're gonna check out the characters that I have not checked out in my actual playthrough that we're gonna learn about from this video. Let's continue.
Fiery red particles. However, the Radiance appears to be the main god when it comes to dreams, even if other gods also dabble in the dream realm. Getting back to the Moth Tribe, it is their interaction with the Pale King that we need to discuss. Basically, the moths turned their backs on the Radiance completely in order to worship the new light that had appeared, the Pale King's light. So yeah, moths are assholes in this game too. With her tribe forsaking her, the Radiance became a forgotten memory, a remnant of the past.
And that is the crime, being assholes. Fine. I can. The seer has to bear the crimes of them. They're a war criminal. If my people of Atlantis forgot me, I would also be very mad. And I would also call them war criminals. I understand that. The seer is a war criminal now. I'm sorry. Yes. Yes, they did. I'm very proud of the Radiants to say that they're war criminals, because they are. How dare they? Lamp.
And a thing that's definitely not
Diese
going to come
Motten.
up again later in this video.
Final Fantasy 14 solltest du
Nein,
unbedingt
Final
mal
Fantasy
ausprobieren, denn
14
es
soll
ist ein
nichts machen.
absolutes Top
I need to.
MMORPG.
I
And
need
so
to
the Pale King's
disable.
new kingdom
I need
was
YouTube
established.
Premium, do I? I'm not branding for these advertisements at all. I don't want that. I need Premium at some point.
Hallownest.
That's fine.
But there is one aspect of Hallownest that we need to discuss.
Lamp.
Unfortunately, to better understand this, we're going to have to read some poetry. In Wilds Beyond they speak your name with reverence and regret. For none could tame our savage souls, yet you the challenge met. Under palest watch you taught, we changed. Base instincts were redeemed. A world you gave to bug and beast as they had never dreamed. This is from a poem titled Elegy for Hallownest, written by Modamon the Teacher. The poem appears at the beginning of every playthrough, and hints at what the Pale King and his kingdom offered. Much of the land outside of Hallownest appears to be a wasteland, where bugs survive off of instinct, without the burden of mind. Hallownest somehow taught these bugs and tamed their savagery. Basically, the Pale King changed the instincts of his subjects and granted them higher thought. To get a better picture of this, let's look at two different characters, Boone and Tuck. These adorable panda bug
Boone?
things give us a clear display of Hallownest's effect. While both appear to be the same species of bug, Boone is dumb as a sack of rocks, struggling to string together words, while Tuck speaks fairly clearly. The main difference between these two characters is that while Boone lives outside of Hallownest, Tuck lives beneath the city's capital. Basically,
Boone is
it
a
appears
character
as though
from the comic.
Hallownest is a literal holy ground.
The elegy for Hallownest used to be much longer, but cut for containing too much lore. Amazing.
That raises the intelligence of those who dwell within. The Pale King established a path, starting from the kingdom's entrance in King's Pass, winding through Greenpath and the fungal wastes, and finally ending at the massive capital at Hallownest's heart. We now know the capital city as the City of Tears, but that was likely not its original name. The rain that falls down onto the city from the blue lake above didn't begin until after the kingdom collapsed. So unless the capital was originally named by some edgy literature student, the name City of Tears wouldn't have made much sense. The king's motivation for all this appears to have been his desire to be worshipped. The citizens of Hallownest believe that the Pale King created the world, and everything in it. Shrines to the king can be found scattered throughout the kingdom, and king's idols were created and distributed to followers of the king. Despite the worship, the Pale King
You named the city. Are you a tragic, edgy poetry student?
often kept himself hidden from his subjects, possibly to hide his blemishes. I mean, if you look at the size of the real Pale King to his statue in the ancient basin, the man is clearly overcompensating. The Pale King's White Palace was also built underneath.
True. Who isn't? Trying to think of a good answer. Yes, I will just quote the Bible and boom. You got poems, you got literature, you got sonnet. No, you're not wrong at all. It technically always is some kind of poetry.
The city, separating him from
It's
his
in
subjects
verses, of
even
course it's
more so.
poetry.
At the same time, certain powers became shunned in Hallownest, though we don't know for sure if the Pale King had anything to do with this. Lifeblood is a blue liquidy substance that leaves those who drink it feeling refreshed. However, the use of lifeblood was seen as a taboo, and those
What? Lifeblood is a taboo drug? I love lifeblood. Lifeblood looks good. Lifeblood is the reason why I managed to defeat the failed champion, who, by the way, is still the strongest boss fight. In Wilds Beyond they speak our name with reverence and regret, for none could tame our savage souls yet. You the challenge met under palest watch, you taught, we changed. Base instincts were redeemed, a world you gave to bug and beasts as they had never dreamed. This is Bible taught for 200 IQ professors. Awesome. Every word the Pale King says is the Bible. and yet you understand it clearly. I must admit, I don't understand it entirely yet. Toot your
who
own
used
horn.
it were
Damn.
demonized as heretics. The use of soul for combat was also shunned.
What?
Soul is a sort of life force in Hollow Knight that animates the bodies of living creatures. But some characters are able to control the soul of others to conjure powerful spirits.
Yes,
But
nailed.
aside from a few exceptions, no citizens of Halnest ever used this power. However, the Pale King didn't rule alone.
Hello, white lady.
There was another higher being in the mix, a being known as the White Lady. The White Lady is a weird brute-like being that can be found in the modern-day Queen's Gardens.
She's a tree.
She is encased in a strange cocoon, and we know very little about her. With as much exposition we get for the Pale King, there is next to nothing on the White Lady. But one thing we do know is that she likes to breed. Like, a lot. The White Lady would often retreat to the Queen's Gardens, an area of land once controlled by the Mosskin. How exactly she walked around and actually went places is a lore question too deep for even my expertise. The White Lady is also known as a pale being, along with the Pale King. What exactly are pale beings? Well, we don't know for sure, but they seem to stand out even amongst higher beings, as being even more powerful. I know that's a little confusing, so let's try using an example.
Not really. The more, basically, from my understanding, the more white or light they are, the more powerful they are. That's why the Radiance is the main god.
I'd say that regular higher beings are like a TP-Link Archer C7 AC1750 wireless dual-band gigabit router, while pale
What?
beings are like the Asus RT-AX88U AX6000 dual-band 8X gigabit Wi-Fi router. Under the Pale King, Halnest under
You know what? You know what? That is amazing. I might just take that specific clip and do some kind of notification with this. Radiance is god of dreams only. True. That is true. Because everyone had their own gods. But that doesn't mean that the Radiance isn't the highest being that we encounter. Because I'm pretty sure it is.
went a bit of an industrial revolution. He ordered the construction of the stagways,
Yeah,
which
I know
were
that
used to
Un's a
transport
god.
passengers and goods. The Forgotten Crossroads and the storerooms above the City of Tears were used
Technically, Un is a god, the Pale King is a god, the Radiance is a god, and Grim. I presume Grim is also a god, because Mossbag did tell earlier about the particle effects that every god has. Whereas the Dream Essence particles are the Radiance, Un has the green ones, the white ones are the pale gods, and then there's Grim with some weird particles. Grim's not a god. Oh, he has connections. Okay, so he might just be the adversary of a god.
to store goods that traveled along these stagways. The king also ordered the construction of the tramways, because literally no one is safe from the threat of automation. A tram was built between the Forgotten Crossroads and the resting grounds. A second tram was
Essence
built
equals
from the kingdom's
doesn't
edge across the
equal
ancient
godhood.
basin over to Deep Nest.
Okay.
And then a third tram was started in Deep
means
Nest and
connection to
attempted to go
godhood.
further into Deep Nest. Not sure how useful that would have been
Oh.
to the bugs of
Oh, true. Okay, so that. Oh, okay. Then I did misunderstand something earlier, but that makes sense. White Palace is a dream palace. Un is some kind of god that whose dreams became creations. The Radiance is just dreams. And Grim probably has some kind of dream as well, I guess.
Halonest, but whatever. The Pale King's a smart guy. I'm not gonna question him. But anyway, the Pale King's super smart plan to
Okay,
build a tram in
okay.
Deep Nest ended up getting a few of his tram workers killed. The bugs of Deep Nest rejected the Pale King's attempt to build a tram in their territory, further
Yeah.
cementing the poor relations shared between the two groups. Aside from convenient fast travel, regular pathways were also used to cart goods around the kingdom. From this was born probably one of the most important groups in Halonest, and perhaps even all of fiction, An elusive guild of bugs, simply known as the Menderbugs, took to maintaining the various signs scattered throughout
What do you mean, all of fiction, Mossbag? What do you mean? What do you know?
Hallownest. From the journal entry of one Menderbug, we can catch a glimpse into their ancient and unknowable minds.
Dear, dear diary.
Aw, so
Isn't life
cute.
just the most beautiful thing? Fixing signs, mending posts, let them break, I say. I'm a better mender for all that repairing. I sometimes
kill
doubt there's
one
a
of them?
single bug in all of Hallownest happier than me.
Another example of the Pale King's expanding infrastructure is the Crystal Peak. This area is filled with crystals that grow rapidly along walls, ceilings, and even the shells of certain bugs. These crystals were considered valuable to the bugs of Hallownest, resulting in large-scale mining efforts. We don't actually see the crystals used anywhere else in Hallownest, but they are said to contain a sort of energy. The crystals are
Yeah,
also said to
I know.
sing
I
if you listen.
encountered. I think I encountered a mender. I'm not sure if we killed him or if we killed the sign in front of him. I did encounter them though, or at least I have a déjà vu about encountering one.
Very carefully.
Don't you dare! Don't you
In terms
dare!
of military, Hallownest's first
Okay.
line of defense appeared to be a group simply known as the Five Great Knights.
Yes.
The members of this esteemed coalition were Ogrim, Hagamol, Zamir, Drya,
Ooh. Wait, who's Samir?
coalition were Ogrim, Hagamol, Zamir,
I don't know you. I know the rest. I saw the rest. But who are you?
Drya, and Isma. For being so important, most of the information about these knights has been lost to time. Ogrim is the knight we know the most about, since he is one of the few knights still alive during the events of the game.
I don't
Ogrim
think I
expressed
have
a
met
great amount of
Samir.
loyalty towards the king, and he maybe had something going on with Isma, but we really don't know. Hagamol was known for his sense of humor and his soft-spoken voice, but at the same time, he was also dummy thick. Mysterious Samir arrived in Hallownest from a serene land, bringing with her a collection of delicate flowers. At some point, she also got into a relationship
Where was that? Where is that house?
with dummy
Wait.
thick. Mysterious
I don't think I met her. I never saw her. I would remember that. I don't know what house that is. No. Just tell me where do I have to go to find this house? This looks like the Kingdom's Edge. But resting grounds. Resting grounds? What? Wait, is she the witch? When I get her favor after the 40 charms, does she turn into the white lady? Yeah, the witch. The charm selling witch. It's a witch. It's a witch! I thought when I no. See, I will tell you something. Yes. Salubra in the crossroads. I thought her house was either a brothel or a witch hut. It turns out it's not a brothel, so I thought it was a witch hut. I cannot know. I have never met the white lady. Resting grounds. She's a witch. I don't care. She's a witch. I'm gonna call her the witch. I'm not gonna stop that. Giant addicted Still, I have to find who that white lady is. In the resting grounds, you say? Where in the resting grounds? Damn. I have to find
Samir
that
arrived
still.
in Hallownest from a serene land, bringing with her a collection of delicate flowers. At some point, she also got into a relationship with a mantis, but not just any mantis.
Yeah, I know that the white lady is not Samir. It's just that I don't. I use nicknames for most of the bugs because I don't remember their name. Cornifer's name, I took like 8 streams to remember. I was calling him the map guy or Cornelius the entire time.
A daughter of one of the Mantis Lords. So yeah, it seems like these great knights were slaying in more ways than one. All we really know about Drya is that she was fierce, caring, and wise. As for Isma, she was described as being kind. She also
Map
appears
guy
to be
is
some
the
sort
name
of
for the
weird
first two
plant life form,
Oh,
but there's no information on where she's from or what her
well, I took 8 streams, which is like 18 hours maybe worth of time, 20 hours to remember his name. And I only missed him in the resting grounds. I have no excuse for that one. I never thought I would have an excuse. I did just forget his name the entire time. I tried to remember that his name is Cornifer, but I was calling him Cornelius and Map Guy the entire time, so yeah.
powers were. The 5 Great Knights play an important role in the Champion's Call, the Knotted Grove, and the Battle of the
Yeah,
Black
who
Worm.
doesn't miss him in
We
the
have no
resting
idea what
grounds?
these events were or how they affected Hallownest, but they sound cool nonetheless. During Hallownest's reign, there was another strange area that seemed to exist separate from the Pale King's rule. Carved out of the corpse
The
of an ancient
Colosseum
bug,
of
an area called the
Fools.
Colosseum of Fools was constructed, and it was a destination for warriors from outside Hallownest. The sole purpose for fighting in
I did do the mark. I did get the mark of the fool. It was an amazing time fighting these guys.
the Colosseum appeared to be simply for glory, with a mysterious figure known as the Lord
Yes, I got it. I did do a lot of things in Hallownest. I took a break once, cause I was like 2.5 hours already in stream, and I was like, you know what? Before we continue being mad about this game, I will take a break, and I'll try it the next day. And I tried it 3 days after because I didn't play Hollow Knight for like 2 days, I think. And then I tried it again, and I took like 3 to 4 tries maybe, and I got it. I did beat the boss first time. Yes, but it was really fun. I really liked it. If you want to check out how long it took me, you can see it on my VODs on YouTube, because I uploaded all of the VODs apart from the first 3 streams, because I do not have them recorded. I did not record the first 3. You found something about the map guy? Oh, tell me. Wiki quote. Tell me about Cornifer. He cannot be met in the resting grounds and always leaves this letter in the stack station of the resting grounds instead. Cornifer also never leaves a letter in Deepness. Okay. Well, I did find him in every other area. So I found him every time.
overseeing the combat. We don't know when the Colosseum was constructed or if the Pale King was involved, but one of his servants, the Pale Lurker,
True. I found that guy. I fought that guy. That was a weird boss.
became a champion in the Colosseum, perhaps indicating the Pale King's approval. And finally, there was the Royal Waterways, where the fecal excrement of the kingdom was washed out into the fungal wastes. This area saw the rise of a species of parasite-like creatures called the flukes. The flukes spawned from the fluke marm.
What is that? I found their area today, but I did not find that. I have to look for that. That is a hot take. I didn't find the waterways in any kind of way bad. I did think that Deepness is hell, though. Yeah, I have to find that boss still. That is gonna be fun looking for around. At least I know where to look for that boss.
A giant monster with cavities in which tinier flukes live. There really isn't too much lore involved with the flukes, but I do need to point out that the fluke marm is canonically...
What the... Fluke Marm? Alluring god? Of motherhood? What is that?
A MILF. Like, that's not even debatable.
Moss
The sky
bag!
is blue, 2 + 2 = 4, and we all want to fuck this thing. And so this was the kingdom of Halnest at its height. Halnest was a vast kingdom connected by
Why? Why? I want to know what that is from. It made me very curious. I don't want to spoil your game. Okay, then I'm not gonna ask.
a network of stagways and tram stations. The bugs of Halnest mourned their dead on the resting grounds,
No. It's
engaged in
fine.
commerce using
if
Geo,
it's gonna be
the
a
de
big
facto
spoiler, then
currency
no.
of the region, and a thriving capital located
Thank
in the
you.
middle of the kingdom.
Find it
The
soon.
Pale
Yeah,
King
maybe.
had succeeded in crafting a full-blown society, but we all know there are pitfalls to living in a society. As a suspiciously
Either Mossback is gonna tell me, or I'm gonna find out on my. What the hell is that?
knowledgeable hunter points out in his journal, the Pale King had
That's
created a
a hunter?
population of weak and
Oh my
pathetic
God.
creatures. The bugs of Halnest did not hunt for their own food and had become complacent with their comfort. This is even more obvious with the east wing of the capital. These greedy members of Halnest's high society became complete cowards, obsessed with riches and plumb
Whoa! I think I remember that guy.
from excess wealth. The bugs living in Halnest Prime looked quite
Mossback
different
doesn't
than the
go into what
instinctive
Food Worm is also
simpletons
called
they
a god.
once were.
Huh.
Their savagery had been replaced with intelligence.
Maybe there's more gods than we know, but they are like very varying in power. Because a god in the end is only the one that is being preached to by a certain group of people. In this case, every kind of bigger society has their own god. So those those parasites worship their mother. So she's the god of motherhood, I guess.
And through that intellect, they gave the Pale King the devotion and service he desired. And while there were a few snags along the way, they were shining times for the king and his subjects. Resting at the threshold of Halnest is a strange lore tablet, proclaiming Halnest to be the last and only civilization. It calls Halnest an eternal kingdom. This appears to have been the Pale King's goal, for Halnest to stand against a wasted world as a final beacon for civilization. And that was the Pale King's ultimate folly, to think that he could succeed where so many others had failed before. Long before the Pale Kings or the Barry Bensons of the world, the land of Halnest was controlled by an ancient caste. Hints of Halnest's history are littered throughout the land, with the most notable examples being the soul totems and arcane eggs. One sect of these ancient bugs didn't worship a god like the Pale King, or
How are the arcane eggs any kind of... You know what, he's gonna explain that.
any lord, but instead a dark and mysterious substance known as the Void. This ancient caste once also tried to lay claim to the entire land of Halnest, but they too failed. In his quest to conquer all of Halnest, the Pale King had made an enemy long forgotten, an enemy that was about to be remembered. I mentioned earlier that the Moth tribe entirely forgot about the Radiance in order to worship the Pale King, but that isn't quite true. Memories of her still lingered, and hushed whispers of faith kept the Radiance alive. At the summit of the Crystal Peak, a location known as Halnest Crown, a strange collection of glyphs can be found. Joining these glyphs is a statue of the Radiance, presiding over the kingdom below. This old summit is the sole
I thought this was a sword. When I found the statue, I thought it was a big ass stone sword.
standing shrine left to the Radiance. This was built in order to keep the memory of the Radiance alive. The Radiance's light began to appear in the
now that I see it a second time, yes, I think it's a... Well, you cannot judge me! You cannot judge me! You can definitely judge me for that one.
dreams of Halnest citizens. This light manifested itself in an infection that ravaged through the kingdom's tunnels. Those infected would fall into a deep sleep and awaken with broken minds. Some of the lesser bugs tried to resist the Radiance's light, which only resulted in them being consumed by it even more so. many infected bugs lost their wills.
I don't
began
care what the statue says. I was exploring and was glad I found a pale ore up there, okay? I was thinking of nails when I found the pale ore. What did you just call me?
attacking bugs that weren't infected. The infection also twisted the bodies of its
What is
hosts,
that?
causing them
No,
to
I
bloat
do know what
and
that is. I found
occasionally
that.
develop orange cysts on their bodies. For many victims, they were reverted back to their basic instincts, carrying out the duties they once fulfilled in life, but now as mindless slaves. Those caught up in the infection were linked into the Radiance's hive mind, allowing her to control their bodies if needed. As the infection spread across Hallownest, many groups looked to solutions to fight off the
I can swing the bang hammer again. Yes. Wait. Let us say hi and bye to that bot. Banhammer. We are going to report. Bot. Next. Bot. Next. Viewer bot. I want to execute it by anvil on the head, like in Minecraft. Block this user. And now ban him! Yes! Okay. Cartoon has that. Yes.
Radiance's
Long.
light. The gates to the City of Tears were closed in an attempt to keep the infection from reaching the city. The stagways were also shut down at some point, and many of the
Stagways are
stags
awesome.
eventually died out, but some took more proactive efforts against the infection. The scholars of the Soul Sanctum decided to harness the power of Soul in an attempt to fight the infection. This resulted in the
worked.
deaths of hundreds of bugs, whose souls were sucked out and injected into the bodies of the
It
scholars.
did not work, right?
Their goal was to achieve some kind of pure focus, which would somehow protect them from plagues of the mind. The scholars' leader, the Soul Master, was driven mad by the sheer power of Soul, and his entire sect failed to avoid infection. But hey, at least they took as many innocent people down with them as they could. The
Yes.
Mantis tribe, showing a stronger will than the common bug, were able to stave off the
True. The seer is a war criminal, though. It's the fault of the moths that the Radiance is so mean. And yes, the soul tyrant is, the soul master is definitely just a war criminal.
infection. However, one of the 4 Mantis Lords turned against his sisters. He and his followers took in the infection willingly, as it gave them more strength and courage.
So that's why these mantises are so mean to me. I was wondering why. And why that one was called a traitor. God damn it. Oh, that explains a lot. Why was he at the White Lady's area though? I didn't get it while I was playing. Boy, I'm gonna tell you one thing. The Mantis Tribunal was one of the first bosses I fought. Like, it was the boss after Hornet. I know that they were infected. I just didn't know that they were related in such a way. Because the other Mantis in the Queen's Garden do not have orange eyes. You can see it right there. I didn't really think about it a lot, okay? Yes, they're not infected, but the ones in Queen's Garden are also not infected, apart from the Traitor Lord. Which is why I was confused and didn't get a relation between that. They were not infected. Because if they were, their spinny thingies would have been orange, like the Traitor Lord's spinny thingies. The only infected mantis. No, they don't have orange eyes. I don't believe you. They don't have orange eyes. And they don't have orange attacks.
At some point during all this, the Traitor Lord and his followers were exiled from the Mantis village, eventually taking up residence in the Queen's Gardens. The Traitor Lord's daughter ended up dying at some point. This is the same Mantis
Oh, I didn't talk to that one.
that was in a relationship with Zamir, one of the 5 Great Knights. But the Mantises rejected their union because of Zamir's outsideness.
What do you mean I can't? I didn't see her then.
As
I
a
guess.
gamer, this type of prejudice is all
Or
too
I just
familiar.
forgot about her.
And honestly, it makes me sick.
Oh, okay.
With the 5 Great Knights completely useless to fight against the infection, the Pale King devised his own scheme. A scheme involving a strange substance known as Void. As I mentioned earlier, the Pale King's White Palace was built in an area called the Ancient Basin. But his
True.
castle wasn't the only noteworthy thing down there. At the bottom of the Ancient Basin was the entrance to a pit.
Right, we're not the first vessel. Oh, there is a condition. Huh. What is the condition? Yeah, apparently I missed it. What is the condition? I guess the condition could be... Yeah, it's involved with Zamir, but I did miss Zamir entirely. I have never met her. I don't know who that is. Well, I do know it's a knight, but still. Right. Now that I think about it, the Pale King has had a different vessel, and we have seen a flashback from the
Known
other
as the
vessel
Abyss.
already.
Within the Abyss was a lake composed of void.
Yes.
The Pale King realized that this void could be given form, as evidenced by an imprint of such deep within the Abyss, possibly left there by the ancient civilization that predated Halonest. The Pale King devised a workshop in his palace, where he placed void in armor shells imbued with...
Well, the Pale King had a vessel, and then we are the second vessel. Right? Because the broken vessel was the first actual vessel. Yeah, I have gotten down there. Of course I have. Well, there's like a lot of corpses down there, but like I had to go there already. I have the King Soul and I have the Black Soul. I defeated the Radiants, which means... Well, yes! But he had one vessel that actually worked, which is the broken vessel. But that one didn't work either. All of them are my siblings, I know! I know now, at least. I freed them. Yeah, the broken vessel, the boss fight inside the abyss. Oh, it wasn't a vessel.
soul,
Oh, right.
creating servants known as King's Molds and Wing Molds. These void creatures were somehow imprinted with the desire of the Pale King, so that they would serve him. It isn't clear when the Pale King started making these creatures. There is evidence to imply that even common bugs were aware of King's Molds. But the point is, the Pale King turned to the void in order to create another creature, one that he believed could contain the Radiance and her infection. He tried to create a pure vessel. The Radiance's infection needs its host to have a will and a mind in order to enslave it. A pure
Yeah.
vessel would be a creature made of void, designed to lack those features. The Pale King believed that by harnessing
There are 3 noteworthy vessels. Yeah, the broken vessel, which is this one, the Hollow Knight, and us.
the void inside a pure vessel, he would be able to stop the infection and keep Halonest lasting eternal. But his method for creating this so-called pure vessel was incredibly cruel. This is where the White Lady and her King Kong-sized libido come into play. These 2 higher beings engaged in a union of some kind, resulting in the creation of several eggs that were dropped down into the abyss.
The king is my dad? What?
There,
Like,
the
actual dad, not like artificial. I thought we were an artificial thingy. No, I thought we were artificial because there was some weird thing with the masks and they had like a weird thing going on. Yes. I know. But I still thought we were artificial. I just didn't realize. I didn't think. I am not thinking. It's the reason why I'm watching this video. Yeah, but the one that we saw was a broken vessel. Yeah. Well. Ah! Oh, that was the Hollow Knight? Oh, damn.
Void seeped into these eggs, corrupting the offspring of the Pale King and the White Lady. This act...
Yeah, but the broken one had also a black cloak, did they? Did I not realize that the one in the flashback was a black cloak? Was it just stupid in that moment? Probably.
resulted in the creation of the vessels. The vessels are not technically considered to be alive. They are shells created from the Pale King and White Lady that have been filled.
I saw the broken vessel exactly once, and I killed it on my second attempt. Shut up. 3 asymmetrical horns. Oh. Okay. You're right. Maybe. Doesn't mean that I'm still... well, what do I do if I don't... I was just enjoying a boss fight.
with the void.
Maybe.
Within each vessel is a shade.
I've seen this
a
video already.
completely void
I haven't.
being
Let me
hidden
watch
behind
it.
the face of the vessel. Vessels are also non-gendered.
Let me spout nonsense about this, because I played the game without thinking a bit. Just a bit. I tried to. Yes, you know
I guess
more
because
lore.
they're
Much more.
dead or something. I'm not sure if that's how that works, but whatever.
I
I'm not
am
an expert on
deluding
these kinds
myself.
of things. I don't work at ICE
Your
anymore.
studies.
Thousands of vessels were created during this
Mossbag
process,
coming back to ICE
but only
in
one was
2025.
chosen as the pure vessel. This particular vessel, chosen by the Pale King, was deemed the Hollow Knight,
Okay,
and
yeah,
was
that is
taken
the
away
Hollow
to the
Knight. I
White
can see it
Palace.
already.
But I want to take a bit of a closer look at this part of the story. There are a number of questions and theories surrounding this moment that I really want to dig into. The big question surrounding this moment is, why was the Hollow Knight chosen over any other vessel? One common theory is that the Pale King took these vessels back to the White Palace and evaluated them using his giant collection of buzzsaws. This theory is probably the least likely explanation. It kinda exists just to explain the buzzsaws, which is quite the mystery, I'll admit, but doesn't really mesh with the vessels very well. How does being good at Super Meat Boy prove that you are a worthy vessel? And while thinking about logistics in a game about magic bugs is never a good idea, how exactly did the Pale King transfer these thousands of vessels to his palace without characters like the Dung Defender finding out? So this means that the Pale King probably made his decision without taking any of the vessels
I have not dream thought the Dung Defender yet. I have to go back to the Dung Defender.
out of the abyss. So how did the Pale King make his evaluation? I think the best explanation comes from a theory I originally heard from a user named Golden Flower Fan. Basically, the vessels were hatched down at the bottom of the abyss, and the first one to make it to the top was chosen by the Pale King. In a memory of this event, we see vessels falling from above back down into the pit of the abyss. Perhaps these vessels weren't being cast down into the abyss, but fell while trying to escape out of it. The lore tablet outside the abyss appears to support this theory. It reads, "Our pure vessel has ascended. Beyond lies only the refuse and regret of its creation. We shall enter that place no longer." This tablet was likely written right after the Hollow Knight was chosen, considering that is when the entrance to the abyss was sealed off. The tablet proclaims that the pure vessel has ascended, or in other words, climbed out of the abyss. And while cut content should never be considered canon, I would just like to point out that an earlier version of this tablet, found in the game's code, was even more explicit about this. It read, "From below, our pure vessel has ascended." But how does making it to the top of the abyss first prove that the Hollow Knight is somehow a perfectly hollow vessel? Well, I think this whole concept might just be a misconception. What if the Hollow Knight wasn't any different from the other vessels? All the vessels were made in the exact same way after all. The idea that the Hollow Knight was somehow more hollow than the other vessels comes from the fact that there were so many vessels created in the first place. If they only needed one, then why create so goddamn many? I mean, this is like Octomom on steroids. Well, these
What?
are bugs we're talking about, so it would make sense that multiple offspring would come from one egg. And it might have been a precaution to produce multiple vessels in hopes that at least one would be able to successfully escape the abyss. Now another explanation could be that the Pale King just yeeted other vessels that made it to the top first, after determining that they weren't hollow, which would better explain why so many were created. Ultimately, the exact details aren't super important, but I do find it interesting how many different interpretations can be pulled from this part of the lore. After the Hollow Knight was chosen, the Pale King sealed the doorway to the abyss, leaving the discarded vessels to rot away in darkness. These actions were not taken lightly by the Pale King or the White Lady. Both participants expressed shame in what they did, but saw no other option to save the kingdom.
Well,
but the
I
vessels
don't
weren't
care.
the
You
only poor
created
saps
me.
sealed away in the abyss.
I created
There's
you.
also a lighthouse that was built on top of a
Yes.
naturally formed spire, its light shining down on an ocean of abyss below. Inside was one of the Pale King's royal retainers, who was left in charge of keeping the lighthouse turned on. So this brave soul was willingly sealed in a dark and dangerous tomb for the rest of his life, just so he could not pull a lever. Well, at least he was living with purpose. With the abyss sealed and the Hollow Knight chosen, the Pale King's plan was beginning to come together. The Hollow Knight was raised and
Living
trained
with
to
purpose,
prime
yes.
form, causing
He
it
is
to grow
dead.
several times its original size. We don't know exactly why this happened, but I guess the Hollow Knight is just a grower and not a shower. We know that the Hollow Knight was trained to use a nail, but why was this even necessary? One possible explanation is that the Hollow Knight needed to protect
Background of that. Is that from? What? Where is that? Is that just the actual? No, wait. No. I'm going to find this. I want to find this. This looks amazing.
Why was this even necessary? One possible explanation is that the Hollow Knight needed to protect itself in case an intruder tried to kill it,
Good
You
fucking
know,
luck. Okay,
like
thank
the
you.
player.
Maybe,
Or perhaps
maybe if you join in on another stream of mine where I am trying to achievement hunt or explore the rest of Hollow Knight, I will ask you then.
this was important in the process of containing the Radiance. Unfortunately, the
You haven't got
details
that
of that are
yourself
never
either.
fully
Damn.
explained. The Hollow Knight might have somehow focused the Radiance inside itself,
okay.
but Team Cherry gives us no explanation of how that might have worked. But
Well,
that
I
still
will
wasn't
try
enough
to
for the
find
Pale
out on my
King.
own and then ask
Additional
you.
seals were needed in order to protect the Hollow Knight's physical body while the Radiance was trapped inside of it. To achieve this, the Pale King sought the help of 3 particular bugs, who would later be known as the Dreamers: Lurien the Watcher, Motomon the Teacher, and Hera the Beast. Lurien is definitely the most mysterious of the 3 Dreamers. He lived in the Watcher's
Yes.
Spire in the City of Tears. From there, Lurien watched over the city with his telescope. Lurien was a pretty big fan of the
He's a
king, so it
stalker.
probably took little convincing for him to lie down for him. Lurien might also be tied to another strange incident that occurred in the City of Tears.
Which
Hidden
one?
on some of Lurien's lore tablets are images of jars, the same jars that can be found stockpiled in the Tower of Love.
The
This building
grubbies.
sits on the outskirts of the city, and is the setting of one of the most bizarre bosses in the game, the Collector. The Collector is a void construct that appears to have been made from the same mold used to create the King's molds. But the Collector is unique because, well,
Good grief, he's naked!
The Collector stayed in the Tower of Love with a noble bug who likely owned the establishment. In the tower, a number of bugs can be found captured in jars, implying that these two were tasked with
killed them
collecting
all.
these creatures. However, the Collector somehow became obsessed with grubs, creating a map to keep track of grubs it captured in jars, as well as keeping a strange shrine displaying a grub in the style of the Vitruvian Man. Eventually, the bug staying with the Collector decided to lock it inside the Tower of Love, and fled to the Queen's Gardens, where it died. likely due to overexposure to the void. Despite being
Yeah, it
locked
looks
up
like
in
that.
the tower, the collector is still spotted by the hunter at some point, which
1
either means
million
this only
chances.
happened recently, or the
The hunter looks so creepy. I have to figure out how to get him out of his cave. Probably when I finish his journal.
by the hunter at some point, which either means this only happened recently, or the hunter has been farting around in Hallownest for a long ass time. We have no idea what these creatures were trying to do. It's implied that the collector was trying to preserve the creatures of Hallownest, perhaps trying to protect them from the spread of the infection, but we don't know where the collector's obsession with grubs originated, and while Larian does seem connected to all of this, we don't know how involved he was with this operation, or what its end goal exactly was. Motomon the teacher lived in the teacher's archives, a library built atop a lake of acid in the Fog Canyon. The lower half of her body consists of tentacles, making her a popular subject for the thriving Hollow Knight R34 community. The
What?
archives and the Fog Canyon as a whole
What? There is an entire community about that. What the hell? Riveting content? What do you mean riveting content? No, it's bugs. No. You do not go there. I believe you that it's something. Oh god.
are
I
also
don't
filled
wanna.
with these strange Metroid knockoffs.
No!
These creatures are likely related to Monomon in some way.
It's
They
ew.
could be her live offspring,
Ooh,
her
jellyfish.
test tube
I forgot for like 3 streams the English word for jellyfish. I have no idea. I have never been on that site and I don't want to go there.
babies, or possibly even her shit. Motomon uses futuristic cathode ray tube things to store
I am
information
not
about
going to look
Hallownest.
at that.
Several terminals in the
I am
teacher's
not going
archive
to look
go
at
into
Silk Song
detail about the Pale
R34.
King's plan to defeat
Ew.
the Radiants, indicating that Motomon had intimate knowledge of what she was taking part in. Finally, the Pale King sought the help of Hera the Beast, the Queen of Deep Nest. Now, as I mentioned earlier,
did she help
relations
him?
between Hallownest and Deep Nest were kinda not great. Unlike the other two dreamers,
No.
Hera needed to be convinced
I
in
don't
order
want
to
that,
help
thank
the Pale
you.
King. Hera would eventually agree to become a dreamer in exchange for a child. The Pale King agreed, and the two engaged in a dalliance,
Shaw!
which is a fancy way of saying they totally boned. The White Lady was okay with this arrangement. In fact, she might have been watching from the closet. The motive behind Hera's request is never elaborated on, but it appears as though the King of Deep Nest was dead at this point. Hera was a common bug.
I want to know about the child of the Pale King and Hera the Beast.
So perhaps she desired the Pale King's pale seed so that her child could be of high birth. The
Maybe.
bargain between Hera and the Pale King resulted in the birth of Hornet.
Oh.
She became
Sup,
known as the
Hornet?
gendered child, because unlike the Pale King's other children, Hornet was not hollowed out by the Abyss.
Ah.
Hera and
She
Hornet spent
is
little
the
time
gendered
together,
child.
as Hera had to make
I was wondering who the gendered child was. I could have thought about that because Hornet was not really. I didn't really pay. I saw the term gendered child once and forgot about it afterwards. So yeah, happens to me with a lot of this important stuff. I see it once and I forget about it afterwards. So I don't even start thinking about it. Which is why I watch these lore videos to freshen up. I forgot about it.
good on her end of the bargain.
Hornet wasn't even there at Hera's mask. I didn't see her in Deep Nest. Dreamnet NPCs, goddammit. I read through the Dreamnet NPCs. I never went back. Leave me alone. I never went back. I left and never went back to I didn't go back. What do you mean directly after? Wait a second. We're gonna go. Wait. Wake up and she's there. Let me check my recordings. Let me check my recordings. Wait a second. I didn't miss her. I missed her? Wait a second. I didn't miss her, did I? I didn't miss her. I did not miss her, did I? Hollow Knight. I believe you that you're not fucking with me. The thing is, I have to have missed her, but like, there's deepness. I'm checking my recordings. Let me check the map of on my recordings. Wait, or forgotten. Probably more forgotten. Okay, no, this recording was still without, with the mask in. Who? Here's the mask maker. Right. My monitor is off right now. So blame that for misspelling. You didn't misspell basically anything, don't worry. Hello, I'm doing a Hollow Knight lore stream. What's up? How you doing? I'm just checking my recordings for something, because I missed something very important, apparently. You good? That's great. That's awesome. Watching lore. I'm misinterpreting everything. Like always. So now where is the okay, bye-bye. Original Hollow Knight, yeah. Wait a second. Where no Sick Song. Yeah, still I'm pretty sure they didn't play the game yet. This one, that's literally 7 years old. So what? Where's the recording of me getting the mask? Wait. I'm gonna check on my YouTube page. No, not an image. Hello. Channel. Here, we found the first mask. Thank you. That's a seer, that's a war criminal. Wanted to... Did we collect it in that stream as well? Did we collect it in this one? Where you just were... Wait, what? Where were I in the vault? It looked like the location, but it... In the last VOD. In this one. There's Herobrine. This one. Stream delay is doing in my head in. Okay, wait. Here, this is the area where it was, where you can find the mask, right? Yeah, there is the mask. Ah, I just left. Right, I thought it was a boss fight. I thought it was gonna be a boss fight. Did I just leave entirely? Wait, let me check that. Yeah, I came back. I just don't think I... Yeah, I just left. I did get the Dreamers, but I left the first time, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember if I... Did I? Oh. Yeah, figure sleeping at the stone plinth. I don't think I did... I didn't think of dream nailing her. Or no, I did think of dream nailing her. I just didn't... Yeah, I just didn't do it. No, that was me. Oh, that was the fix? Yeah, I did not do that in that stream. I think I did it in the stream after. I did it in this one. Pretty sure. Wait, let's... Huh? Who are you? Right, that's where I found Umu. This is where I collected the first mask, right? Yeah. Yeah. This is where I collected the first one. It took me a while to go back to... Yeah, I'm waiting. No, I did it. I did collect the mask. Right here. Right here. She was the first mask. I thought there was gonna be a boss fight, but then I thought rationally about it on stream. And I thought, oh my god, there was already a boss fight in this area, so there's probably not gonna be another boss fight, right? So I did her mask, which is also the reason why I went back afterwards to collect the mask from Hera. There. This is... Okay. So this is the Dreamer sequence. Look. I unseal... Okay. There is no Hornet! There is no Hornet! She wasn't to my right. How could I have known that she was the spider's daughter? I knew that she was our sibling. I just didn't know that she was our half sibling. I didn't know where she came from. Okay, let's go back to mossbags video.
And so the three dreamers were put to rest. Through their actions, a seal was placed over the black egg, prohibiting entrance into the chamber. These dreamers also had their own protection. At the base of Lurian's spire, the Watcher Knights guarded access to their master's body. Motomon's body was protected by a giant jellyfish named Umu. On top of this, Motomon entrusted her servant Quirrell with a mask which would be required to break an additional seal she had placed over herself. So she basically is double wrapping herself. As for Hera, we're not really sure what protected her, since it is never actually seen in-game. We don't know where this creature is hiding, but whoever it is, they really suck at their job.
Is the protector Herobrine who just left and went to a different part of Deep Nest?
job. Now there appears to be one more element to the Pale King's plan involving the Weavers. Hidden away in the Weaver's den is an incomplete
Nosk. I'm calling Nosk Herobrine because yeah, it was. Come on. Yeah, it's Nosk. Come on, it's Herobrine. It's Hollow Knight Herobrine.
seal of binding, woven from silk. This design prominently features the Hollow Knight's head and can be found in the White Palace.
Why did Hornet not spawn? Wiki quote: if the knight defeated Hornet at Kingdom's Edge before facing Hera the Beast in Deep Nest, Hornet appears next to them as they regain consciousness. Yeah, I collected 2 of the masks before ever going to that part of Deep Nest. I think I collected all of the masks before that. Yes, I did that out of order. The part where with the Kingdom Seal, with the King's Seal, right? I did that after collecting the masks, after collecting the double jump, and I only went there to explore Kingdom's Edge. Hornet 2 before Hera makes her spawn there. Yeah. The Kingdom's Edge was the second to last area that I explored, I'm pretty sure. No, the Hive was the last area, so that was the third to last. No, I did explore. There was 3 areas after Kingdom's Edge in the end. It was the Basin, the Abyss, and the Hive.
Palace, as well as blocking the exit during the Hollow Knight fight.
I was at a crossroads, basically. I asked chat if I should go to the left with the Queen's Garden, to the right with the Kingdom's Edge, or down into the Royal Waterways, into the Ancient Basin, you know? And chat said to go to the left, so I went to the Queen's Garden.
Silk spools created by the Weavers can be found in the Stag Station in Deep Nest, as well as the
No, not from Crossroads. I had already explored Deep Nest at that point. Yeah, it was like from the city. I had explored like Deep Nest already. I'd explored Green Path, Fungal Caves, Fungal Wastes. Had not explored the fog area yet. I know. I had already explored a bunch of other areas. Right, that was the stream where I finally found the Fog Canyon map. I had found finally the Fog Canyon map, which is the reason why I asked chat where to go, because I had explored all of the areas apart from Ancient Basin, Kingdom's Edge, and Queen's Garden. That could be, yeah, true, but I did enter Queen's Garden first. I don't remember exactly how the chronology of that is. Yeah, you had to go
Stag
from the
Station
right.
next
That
to the
was
White
weird.
Palace. These spools can also be found in the Pale King's workshop. We
True.
know that the Weavers were closely
But for me, it wasn't the last one because I did explore the Ancient Basin as the last area before the Abyss. So I was very, very late to get... Like, I explored basically everything without a double jump. But for the Hornet 2 fight, you needed a double jump, which is why I didn't go there yet. And I explored the Queen's Garden without a double jump. I explored the Kingdom's Edge without a double jump. And I did the Trial of Fool without a double jump. I did initially left the Dreamers as well. But then I just was like, you know what, I want to try if that's a boss fight or not. So I did that and I...
tied to Hera and Hornet, so their actions might have been a part of the deal between the Pale King and Hera. Once the Hollow Knight was ready, the
Ooh.
Radiance was somehow channeled into the vessel, which was then placed inside of a giant black egg located in the Forgotten Crossroads. This egg was built to sustain the Hollow Knight, and itself appears to be fashioned from void. The Hollow Knight was chained up, and the entrance to the black egg was locked behind
So
a
I beat
powerful
Hornet 2,
seal
Traitor Lord,
created by
Hive
the three
Knight,
Dreamers.
whatnot before killing Dreamers and Hera. a Hornet's Horn. Yeah, true. I just
Mit den
didn't.
neuen Kategorien von Vinted kannst du jetzt noch mehr Secondhand verkaufen.
No,
Du brauchst
we
es
don't.
nicht. Verkauf's
We don't.
einfach.
Initially, the convoluted plan actually worked, and the infection was successfully contained.
Deutschland.
Memorials
Yes.
to the Hollow Knight and the Dreamers were erected in the City of Tears and the Resting Grounds. But this is the part of the story where things get a little bit hazy. By the time these statues were constructed, citizens had taken to writing on parchment woven from spider silk, which was all destroyed when water started pouring
that's
down
sad.
onto the city. We don't know how long.
Are you living outside of Germany? Are you from Germany? Or how did you learn German but then forgotten it? No, you learned it at school. Oh. What school teaches German? What kind of school teaches German?
The Hollow Knight was able to completely contain the
I
infection.
was forced to learn
Bugs
one
from
language.
Dirtmouth
Okay,
used to go to
fine.
the Temple of the Black Egg to pray, saying they felt at peace within the walls. But after a while, they stopped going, perhaps indicating that the
Elementary,
infection was
damn.
beginning to leak out again. The infectious air continued to seep through Hallownest for years, eventually even reaching the deepest parts of the kingdom. As it turns out, the Pale King's pure vessel wasn't quite so pure after all. The Hollow Knight had been tarnished by an idea instilled.
I speak two of those languages. I don't speak French. I speak Spanish and German.
While the game never explicitly tells us what that idea was, it does hint strongly at what it might be. Hidden away in the White Palace is a memory showing the Hollow Knight and the Pale King sharing a moment. The Hollow Knight might have developed a parental
Similar
bond
to
the
your
Pale
native.
King, and who could blame it?
Yeah.
The Pale King is a pretty great dad after all. You know, if you ignore the infanticide and everything. Remember those smug mushroom dickheads? Well, it turns out their trust in the Pale King was a complete mistake. That shared mind isn't looking too good now, is
Oh,
it?
who would have thought
In
that?
the fungal core, the corpse of a giant mushroom lies dormant. Its final thoughts were, "Pale worm, what good to see a demise
Also, French was removed because literally nobody chose it. Understandable, French is a demonic language.
unavoidable?" This could imply that the Pale King always knew that his kingdom was doomed. All he could do was delay the inevitable. This is likely the moment when Hallownest, as it once was, entirely collapsed. The Hollow Knight had not completely stopped the infection, and while it may have taken a while, Hallownest was eventually brought low. It's at this point that characters and areas begin to resemble as we know them in-game. When it became clear that the Hollow Knight was not able to contain the Radiance, the Pale King resorted to his final plan. He fucked off, hiding himself, his White Palace, and his Pale Court in the Dream World.
Damn!
At this point, all
The
of the
Pale
furniture in the
King is a
palace was
coward.
covered under white sheets, similar to how people in the real world cover their furniture while away on long trips. The palace was also completely covered with thorns and buzzsaws, similar to how people in the real world cover their houses with thorns and buzzsaws.
Oh yeah, I do that every time I go to Italy.
The Pale King would eventually pass away while sitting on his throne in the White Palace. There's no confirmation on what killed him, but there are a few things to consider. The throne room is incredibly dark.
I mean, you're
compared to the
right,
rest
but
of the
also
palace,
that's kind of
and the particle
manslaughter.
effects and ambient track in this room are identical to that of the Abyss. All of the king's molds surrounding the Pale King are dead. The ancient basin itself also has become stained with the presence of void, as it can be seen as high as the rundown elevator shaft leading back to the city. Remember that bug that was sealed away in the Abyss to make sure the lighthouse wasn't turned off?
Yeah, I remember
Well,
him.
the lighthouse was turned off.
Damn.
I guess that whole living with purpose thing is a crock of shit after all. It seems as though the Sea of Void itself actually convinced this bug to betray his king and turn off the lighthouse. Now I know what you're thinking. Exactly how conscious is the Void? Is the Void able to think for itself? Can it form strategies? Does it host a podcast? Well, according to this
I would
Chozo statue
listen.
ripoff, the Void
I would listen. Yeah, it's true. That's why he cries to the void. I would listen to a podcast from the void. My eyes would bleed void afterwards, probably, but I would listen to it.
is powerful, but not unified.
You do.
So while it can thrash around at things that come near it, or call out in unison
I
to
listen
turn
to
off
the
a
vo-
light,
Wait,
it's not a
wait,
single conscious
no,
being.
I'm not talking about
Getting back
insanity.
to the Pale King, one could argue that the Void might have played a role in his ultimate demise. and I've argued that viewpoint in the past, but we have to remember that there isn't enough evidence to know for sure. As an expert lawyer and a good friend of mine, Johnny Cochran once said, any evidence that the Void was involved in the Pale King's death is circumstantial.
Okay, true.
My name is Johnny Cochran.
Damn,
Just
Johnny
above the
Cochran.
White Palace, the bugs in the City of Tears weren't faring much better. Even if we ignore the fact that the infection was still around, there were other issues that helped lead to the city's downfall.
Actually very cool.
Due to the gates being sealed, some bugs resorted to cannibalism in order to avoid starvation. And there's also that metric fuck ton
did I
of
see that?
cannibalism.
Did I find that kitchen? I don't remember if I find that if I've ever found that kitchen. There's no clear melody. You're right. I like the music in the Void, but more because it was creepy and eerie
to avoid starvation. And there's also that metric fuck ton of corpses lining the walls of the Soul Sanctum. When all was said and done, the only citizen left standing is Eternal Emelita, who just laughs her ass off about it like she's a fucking Dark Souls character.
True! I was so confused with this one.
The White Lady ends up in a cocoon deep within the Queen's gardens. She decided to place bindings on herself in order to keep her from spreading her seed. She claims that this is because of the shame she feels in helping the Pale King create the vessels.
If
but
you
honestly,
felt shame,
it's
why did
probably
you do
just
it?
her kink. The White Lady also diminished her power, possibly as a way to keep herself hidden from unwanted visitors. Outside her cocoon, Dryas stood guard.
I feel like I'm kind of figuring out how to get there. It has something to do with the queen. So been so down by 500%. Oh, true. That's good.
Protecting her queen from the violent traitor mantises. Drya is eventually killed off by these bugs, which is actually pretty pathetic if you think about it. I mean, we're talking like the Netgear WPN824N N150 wireless router pathetic. Speaking of great knights dying pathetically, let's move on to Hagamol. Hagamol held the city crest, a key used to open one of the gates to the City of Tears. At some point, Hagamol's armor shell was stolen by a maggot. Now, maggots were generally looked down upon and forced to do menial labor. They were incredibly weak, and basically deserved all of the discrimination they got.
And they were the hardest boss fight apart from Zote as soon as he gets like 8 adjectives. 8 descriptors. TF2 soldier and
But this one maggot decided to turn the tide, so he stole Hagamol's shell so that he could defend his downtrodden brothers. His actions weren't motivated by the infection, but instead was the result of how hierarchical caste systems will always lead to revolution from the working class, and that true freedom can only be achieved blah blah blah, capitalism is bad, subscribe to my Patreon.
What do you mean it can be cheesed? How can the failed champion be cheesed? Tell me about it. Pet charms. The glowing womb? While staying in a safe area. There is a safe area? There is more than one pet charm? I will let you explain. Mossbag is creating fucking mac and cheese and nobody can stop him. Select the membership level. Yes. Top right and hold crystals. Oh my god. That is incredible. Well, I didn't cheese it. I just did it after around 16 to 20 tries. And it was the boss fight that had the most tries for me out of the entire game. Let the pets mink him. Yeah. I did talk to several people in chat who told me that they took like 100 tries or something. I know that my brother was stuck at that boss for like 8 hours. But both of that is probably... Also, yes, there are multiple pet shops. Oh my god, I need to find them. I only have the womb, I think. I don't know if there's more than the womb. I didn't check them all out, I think. Yes. I'm not gonna go back to Deepness. That's hell. No! You cannot get me back into Deepness. I'm gonna go to Deepness some other time. I need to find the charms anyways. I want to achievement hunt the game still, so could be. I missed it. That's okay. That is good to know though, because then I can just do Fate Champion with the cheese at some point. Anyways. Yeah, I don't know if I'll find that one on next stream. It's gonna take a while until I go do another Hollow Knight stream, because today is gonna be the last one for a while. Tomorrow I will do a Forager stream, probably. Saturday as well. I'm just gonna be streaming a little bit of Forager for a bit. Oh, thank you for the follow. But I don't know when I'll be streaming Hollow Knight again. I will put a notification on my Discord server if I do a Hollow Knight stream again. I am trying to get a bot to do notifications on my server about the streams that I do. I'm working with a moderator on my server on that. We didn't start working on it yet, I must admit, but I will do that. Hollow Knight streamer up right now, and she has a category called Ah! Is it a new Hollow Knight streamer as well? What do you mean category? Wait, what do you mean category? In fungal wastes. Wait, Twitch. Let's wait. Ah! English. Twitch. .tv. That's RV. Oopsies. What's she called? Let's check in her. Let's check in her stream. Let's be funny. Hollow Knight. Hara Hoshino. Hara Hoshino. Let's be funny. What's going on here? As soon as the advertisement goes away. Oh, but with an entire VTuber model and everything. Oh, mine's still in the work. Ooh.
What the hell? What the heck? What the helly? What the who?
Look at her tags. Ah! Let me check.
Heal me, heal me.
Oh, that is amazing.
We're good. Gotta get
I
in
should-
the bug mindset. What the? What was that?
I gotta put some of these tags into my own VTuber as well.
Yes, I agree. What the?
Oh damn. Huh.
Okay, we're good. What is that?
No, not well, maybe as well.
Look at that. It's a
Not next time though.
baby.
I'm gonna do ADHD though. As Lord Palpatine once said, do it. Okay, I'll do it. I put as one of my tags, and I put ADHD as one of my tags. Wait, there's different. Wait. Oh my god, is there? Okay, I'm not gonna. Oh, I can only do 10. Oopsies, that's... I just closed Twitch and I didn't realize. That was an accident. I was on OBS. I'm changing it on OBS. ADHD. Should do that one as well, because I have it. Okay. Let's continue with mossbags.
Olgra moved to the Royal Waterways and started living in shit, changing his name to Dung Defender. Now I love wallowing in shit as much as the next guy, but you'd have to really love shit to put up with living with the flukes. The Duck Defender kept an unwavering sense of duty and loyalty to the king, and love for his fellow knights. So much so that he made shit statues of them. How nice. Ogrim acted as the defender of the pipeways, as well as Isma's Grove. A section of the royal waterways became filled with acid, and in the middle of it all rests Isma's corpse, which has been overcome by plant life.
But
Isma is likely the one responsible for this acid blight, but we have no idea what happened to her. Hornet's whereabouts during this time are fairly mysterious. We know that she departed Deep Nest and didn't return until the events of the game. At some point, she took to guarding Halnest from intruding warriors, as well as the cast-off shell in the Kingdom's Edge. Despite the Kingdom's woes at large, fortunately this fate did not befall one of the fandom's favorite characters. The Menderbugs continued to fix the broken signs and wayposts of Halnest. From a diary entry, we can see that one Menderbug in particular had found himself on the precipice of a long and loving relationship.
Hello again, diary. Not long now until the next Minder Bash. For a stealthy
Wait, what the hell? What is that? What is that?
And Minderberry kept flashing me that smile. It might be time to muster my courage and act on it. I love my home and my life, but sharing it with another? Why, that'd be the berry on top.
Greenpath also underwent some changes during this time. The Mosskin were waiting for Un's call, which would bring them back into the dream they were originally born from. But for some reason, Un's strength deteriorated. We don't know why this happened exactly. Was it due to the White Lady claiming part of her kingdom? Was it somehow due to the infection? Some Mosskin believe that Un went into hiding, but it appears as though Un is, in fact, calling to her children. But many of the Mosskin are unable to hear her call. Instead, many Mosskin seem to have taken the Radiance's infection into their leaves, which might explain why Greenpath became overgrown with vegetation despite
I did
Un's
add the
deteriorating
ADHD
powers.
tag as well.
Mossy vagabonds even openly chose to forsake Un and worship the Radiance. Another tribe to be screwed over by the Radiance is the Hive, which fell to the infection after the death of their leader.
Yes, you was definitely tripping. The ADHD tag has been there since the beginning, definitely. Now, if you had watched my gameplay while playing Hollow Knight, I was kind of forgetting all the time where to go. Like the mask in Deep Nest, I'm pretty sure when we checked the stream earlier, I'm pretty sure I wanted to do that since the beginning of that stream. You thought you was on them shrooms. The shrooms
Hive
were
Queen
nice,
Vespa.
though.
But it appears
But yeah, oh, we need to find out what Salubra's got. Not gonna lie, because she was so high, I thought
as
she
though
was
this had
rich.
little effect on their civilization. The Radiance's hive mind was already familiar to the bees, since the hive probably operated under something similar already. So in other words, the hive probably
Rose
made out
flowers?
the best in this whole situation.
I'm going
Let's
to
turn our
sniff
attention back
rose
to the
flowers.
moths. After all, it's their god that keeps killing everybody. Well, the moth tribe didn't fare too well, actually, as pretty much the entire tribe died out. The only known survivor is the seer.
The war
Despite
criminal.
the loss of her tribe, the seer continued to tend to the graves in the resting grounds, while also waiting the arrival of the wielder, a mysterious being that her tribe has dreamt of for a while. In the Kingdom's Edge, the land became covered in ash molting off of the worm's decomposing corpse. The Colosseum of Fools continued to thrive. The Lord Fool passed away at some point, but nobody really seems to notice or even care. The fools inside the Colosseum were infected, but still seem to have maintained control over themselves. It seems possible that these bugs took in the infection willingly, similar to the Trader Lord.
Wait, what grove is that? That's in the at the Fool's place? Damn, I missed that. I'm getting ganked.
This would have
IRL.
given them an edge in combat, similar to using steroids,
it's fine. I don't
but
think
without
it's
the
gonna
whole
be
shrinking
much of a game
testicles thing.
changer.
However, even the Trader Lord and his followers went mad, so what makes these fools any more special? As for the Pale King's champion, the Pale Lurker, well, she just went the normal kind of insane. There appears to have been another unforeseen event with the Pale King's plan. When the Hollow Knight was originally chosen, the door to the Abyss was sealed, trapping the discarded vessels within. But apparently, some vessels didn't get the memo.
It is
Vessel
tough if you want
corpses-
to retry trials, I guess. Is it? It is though? Tough?
Can be
That's
found
true.
littered throughout
I'm not
the
gonna
kingdom.
retry them
There's
though.
one in the Ancient Basin, one in Green
Yeah.
Path, and several trapped in Nosk's lair in Deep Nest. Another vessel that escaped from the Abyss is the player character, the Knight.
Yes.
The exact details on how the vessels escaped the Abyss is unclear. There are indications that they might have slipped into Deep Nest through some old passageway, given void influences in part of the area, and all the corpses found in Nosk's lair. At some point, all entrances to Hollow Nest were closed off, with the old well and Earthmouth being the only way to sneak back in. Despite this, several people have wormed their way into the kingdom, with few ever returning. Characters like Relic Seeker Lem seemed content to just pillage artifacts from the ruined kingdom, but other bugs seemed interested in something
who's that?
greater.
Who's that? Is that in Deep Nest?
In the Howling Cliffs rests the corpse of a member of the Grim Troop. The task of
Oh,
this bug
Howling
appears to
Cliffs.
have been to seek out Hallownest, so that the troop might be summoned to the kingdom in the future. The Grim Troop are basically a group of bugs that serve a higher being known as the Nightmare Heart. The troop keeps the heart
Okay.
alive by feeding on the nightmares of fallen kingdoms. This process also involves sacrificing the troop master to his own child because,
Kennst du diese perfekt
No, you
organisierten
stupid
Menschen im Büro, die
advertisements.
sich am Abend immer das Lunch für den nächsten Tag zubereiten? Naja, ich
Nein, überspringen.
hey, look at this cool ass boss battle.
Whoa!
Another important group that traveled to Hallownest are the God Seekers. After being abandoned by their old
So they're the God Seekers. I was asking myself after finishing off the Radiance who the Grim Troop and the God Seekers were, because neither of them I have met neither of them, and they are credited in the extras section of the main menu.
gods, the gods of thunder and the gods of rain. These bugs left their home in the land of storms, seeking out a new god to worship. The God Seekers look to gods to save
But they do. But there is not a store page. I do have that, right? Completely optional. Yeah. I do have those CLCs.
them from their own silent mind. While traveling through the wastelands, the God Seekers constructed devices called God Tuners, which helped them seek out new gods.
Okay.
Through this device, they were able to detect the lingering power of the Pale King and find their way to Hallownest. When they arrived, however, the God Seeker was forced into hibernation. She was
Oh, so that I found that. I need a key for that. Where is the key?
encased in a strange sarcophagus-like cocoon, which was itself chained up with a lock. It's not clear how this forced hibernation
True
worked,
God Seekers.
seeing as the cocoon appears to have been made by the God Seeker herself. As for who put the cocoon in chains, I think the most likely candidate is the Dung Defender, considering how the God Seeker's cocoon is
Where is more simple keys? I actually need to find that. Tell me. Because I think I did use up all of the simple keys I have found already. That's the first time I needed one in ages. 3, I think, or 2.
found in the junk pit in the
Holy
waterway.
hell, my mother just... she didn't knock, I didn't hear her, and she ganked me out. I got so surprised. She just... She was suddenly behind me. Okay, 4 max, they added one for Godseeker. Okay, so then I have to... There is still one that I haven't found yet, probably.
An area the Dung Defender has
Oh my
tasked
God.
himself with protecting. This was the general picture
I
of
was
Hallownest
so
after the Hollow
scared.
Knight was sealed inside the Temple of the
They
Black
didn't
Egg.
knock.
The kingdom
mother
was stuck
didn't
in a
knock.
kind of stasis,
That's-
with the Pale King
Ah,
civilization
why?
destroyed, and the Radiance unable to break free from her chains. The
Mhm.
Pale King was rebelling against nature, trying to keep his work standing indefinitely. The stasis over Hallownest held for an age. How long is that exactly? Well, we have no idea.
Sure. Tell me the key locations. So I can find the keys next time I stream Hollow Knight, which is gonna take a while, but... Tell me. Where are they? Slice shop, I got that one. One can be found in the City of Tears in the big room with winged sentries and a whispering root just below the city storerooms. The key is located in the topmost alcove on the right of the room. I think I got that one. I'm pretty sure I do. One can be found in the ancient basin on the dead body of a royal retainer inside a Mauler's corpse. I did get that one. I do remember that place. Right? Did I? One can be obtained by killing the pale lurker in a hidden area behind. Okay, then either the one in the ancient basin or the one in the City of Tears I did not get. One of those two, because I did kill the pale lurker. Yeah, I did that one. It was a very weird boss fight, the pale lurker, because the lurker was a ninja that was running away the entire time. I did notice their name with pale, but I didn't think about thinking that they could be some kind of god. She wasn't saying yes.
As I'm sure you've noticed, there really isn't a
pale
timeline for
being,
anything that happens in this game.
right?
We also have no idea how long any of these bugs can actually live. Elderbug wasn't around to see the stagways open, but we know several other characters were, implying that Elderbug is probably one of the youngest characters in the whole game. But this stasis over Hallownest wasn't going to last forever. At some point, the Radiance erupted out of the Hollow Knight, cracking its shell and releasing a loud and powerful roar. The amount of infection leaking out of the Hollow Knight became even greater. The many corpses that lined the roads and cities of the kingdom sprang to life with the amplified power of the infection. This strengthened infection prompted the departure of the Weavers back to their old home. Now this old home might actually be Farloom, the kingdom in which Hollow Knight Silksong takes place.
That is so
but the
beautiful.
amount of
I want
knowledge
to
we
play
have
that
about
game, but
Silksong right now is pathetic, so I'm not saying that's confirmed or anything. It appears to have been clouded due to his time outside of
I don't want to
Hallownest.
see Silksong.
These events are depicted in the Quirrell prequel comic.
This has been the most spoilers I've gotten from Silksong. By far, by the way. I don't care. This is the most spoilers I have gotten from Silksong. Because I have been avoiding Silksong spoilers very, very well. It is a spoiler. It is an area.
Which also shows an image of the Hollow Knight with a pre-cracked shell. This could mean that Quirrell's arrival happens roughly the same time the Hollow Knight's shell cracks. At around the same time Quirrell arrives in Hallownest, we also see the arrival of the player character, who is commonly referred to as the Knight. The Knight was one of the lucky vessels that was able to make its way out of the...
I'm not living under a rock, I'm just avoiding Hollow Knight in general, because I know that Silksong is gonna be everywhere right now, so I'm just avoiding basically everything about the game. Under the waves. Hell yes, that is the correct thing to say.
Somehow
that is the correct thing to say to one of the gods of the sea.
Knight ended up venturing beyond Hallownest and into the wilds beyond. It's implied that the Knight was called to Hallownest by either the sealed Hollow Knight or the Radiance within. Regardless, once the Knight shows up and yeets itself off this cliff, the actual game of Hollow Knight finally begins.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of details we could get into.
Oh my god,
Hallownest is full of NPCs.
You're part of my kingdom. You're a slime from my kingdom now. From below the sea.
And bosses, each with their own stories to tell.
But I did see that before. I did, but I didn't see. I know. I'm sorry.
Hallownest is full of NPCs and bosses, each with their own stories to tell. But to be honest, I don't think we need to go through all of them, since their stories are relatively
There's the witch! It's a witch!
Straightforward. For example, let's look at the brooding Moloch. So why is the brooding Moloch brooding? Because all its friends are dead. And there you go. That's the lore for the brooding Moloch. Also, it's the only character in the game with a visible asshole. Now, did you really need me to
Hold up, there was something. No. There has to be more lore to the Brooding Morlock. Because there has to be some kind of lore on how the Brooding Morlock got there. The other NPC was Junk Pit NPC with nothing noteworthy promise. Okay.
explain that to you? Probably not. So instead, I'm just going to talk about the interactions relating to Hollow Knight's main story. The knight is eventually noticed by Hornet, who lures it deep into Greenpath. There, Hornet attempts to kill the knight, claiming that she knows what it would try to do. At this point, Hornet views the knight as being too weak. After the fight, Hornet can be found in the City of Tears, next to the statue of the Hollow Knight. Hornet mentions that the knight has gained a resilience, due to the time it spent in the void beyond Hallownest. This could be referring to the fact that some of those who leave Hallownest lose their memories, meaning the knight would have no memories of its own tragic conception. Hornet tells the knight that if it seeks to continue the stasis that keeps Hallownest standing,
I don't think I'll find it out. I'm not good with hints. I'm not good with lore. I didn't find out that Hornet is my half-sister. I thought she was my full sister.
it must seek the Graven Ash, which is referring to the Kingdom's Edge. At this moment, Hornet sees the knight as a possible replacement for the Hollow Knight. Basically, the knight could break
really
the seals
obvious.
that keep the Hollow Knight locked away,
If it's so obvious, I've already missed it.
defeat the Hollow Knight, and contain the infection itself. It's at this point that I should mention that Hollow Knight actually has 5 different endings, because of course it would. I'm going to be explaining each of these endings in this video, as they each give us a different glimpse into the mechanics of Hollow Knight's world. Now, to get the easiest ending to Hollow Knight, Hornet's instructions to go to the Kingdom's Edge can be ignored completely. If the knight stumbles upon the resting grounds, the 3 dreamers will appear and cast the knight into the dream realm.
Yeah, that's fine.
There, Seer
I
will
know
come
that
to
there's
the
ending
knight's rest-
spoilers. If he's gonna explain the 5 endings, it's gonna be ending spoilers. But this is the reason why I'm watching this video right now. I have completed a good amount of the game, and I want to drop the game for a while, for a little bit at least, to focus on different games, to do some more stuff on this channel. But I will be replaying the other 2 endings. I will be doing them still.
And grant it the Dream Nail, a special blade that can tear the veil between the real world and the dream world. With the Dream Nail, the knight can
You wanna know something? I thought that the Seer is gonna give me an upgrade to destroy the Shadow Gates. Because I just never went to the Ancient Basin and the Abyss until it was the last 2 areas to explore. So neither Double Jump nor Shadow Cloak I had in for the most part of my run, which is incredible.
The resting places of the 3 dreamers, curb stomp their asses, and unlock the entrance to the Black Egg. Inside the egg,
I'm hanging on. I'm hanging on like the Hollow Knight is. Yeah. No, I didn't. Of course I couldn't beat Shadow Lord, the Traitor Lord without Shade Cloak. I had to go through a Black Gate for that. As soon as I got the Shadow Cloak and remembered that and found out that that I can finally pass through the Black Gates, I traveled into Deep Nest for some Black Gates. I traveled to Queen Garden for a Black Gate, and I traveled to Kingdom's Edge for another one, and I defeated the things that were behind it.
the knight finds the Hollow Knight chained up, silently watching over it. Once the chains are broken, the Hollow Knight screams with that familiar Radiance roar and pursues the knight. As the fight progresses, the Hollow Knight starts trying to kill itself, Quirrell style. But then the Radiance starts using the Hollow Knight's body to perform her own attacks. Once defeated, the Hollow Knight begins to spew infection all over the place. The knight can then focus the infection into itself. This results in the first ending of the game, called Hollow Knight.
I did that.
In this ending, the knight usurps the Hollow Knight, prolonging the stasis over Hallownest. New chains and bindings appear out of fuck if I know, and contain the night, and a new seal is placed over the entrance to the Black Egg. Now there is one giant question looming over this ending. Can the night actually contain the infection indefinitely, or will the Radiant still manage to break free one day?
Radiance would
Before we
definitely
answer
manage
this
to break
question, let's look at some of the other events that can transpire while playing the game. If the player chooses to go to Kingdom's Edge, Hornet will challenge the Knight one last time as a final test of strength. After her defeat, Hornet allows the Knight to access the cast-off shell, where the Pale King was originally hatched. By interacting with this egg, the Knight's shell is marked with the King's brand, technically making the Knight the new ruler of Hallownest. With the King's brand, the Knight can now open the entrance to the Abyss and discover the place of its birth. When leaving the Abyss, the Knight can encounter Hornet again, where for the first time, Hornet suggests that there are actually two outcomes the Knight can enact. She tells the Knight that it can either prolong Hallownest's stasis, or face the heart of the Kingdom's infection. Within the Knight, Hornet sees a chance for change. Instead of just replacing the Hollow Knight, Hornet believes that it may be possible to get rid of the infection completely by using the void inside of the Knight. After visiting the Abyss and obtaining the Shade Cloak, the Knight is capable of reaching the White Lady, hidden away in the Queen's gardens. The White Lady tells the Knight that she has been awaiting a vessel to accept a gift, that gift being one half of a charm called the King's Soul.
It's going great. We are watching a Hollow Knight lore video right now, as I have finished the game finally. So, after like 31 hours of gameplay, I finally finished the game, and we're watching lore videos now to catch up.
Claims will give the Knight more power. The White Lady goes on to explain that she can feel the weakening of the Hollow Knight within her roots. She tells the Knight that it is free of the blemishes that made the Hollow Knight a flawed vessel. From this dialogue, it is implied that the Knight truly is a pure vessel, capable of containing the Radiant successfully. But it's not quite that simple, so we're going to have to dig a bit deeper into this. Basically, we're going to need to answer a simple question. What exactly does it mean to be a Hollow Knight? Despite the White Lady's words...
wait, what was that?
What exactly does it mean to be a Hollow Knight?
Steel Soul. Steel Soul? Hanging on. I love Hollow Knight. He went AFK for a second. Okay, hi, welcome back. Who the frick is this? Probably from this. If you use the Steel Soul mode, you can find her. The games I play right now on stream are often. She doesn't spawn on normal mode. Yeah. Are Hollow Knight, Forager, and sometimes a little bit of League of Legends with some friends. Just generally maybe party game or two. Maybe I'm gonna start streaming Minecraft soon. With two friends of mine, we're gonna be playing ATM 10 Skyblock.
Despite the White Lady's words, we have a number of instances where the characters and item descriptions mention that the Knight has a will, and maybe even a mind. But from the Pale King's dialogue when describing the Hollow Knight, it is stated that a pure vessel has no mind or will. So is the White Lady wrong? Or maybe even lying? Her eyes have been clouded by time, and she can be tricked into thinking that Ogrim is in the room when the Knight is wearing the Defender's...
It's going to be pretty late already. It's pretty late. Jin replaces Gigi, the person that TPs your shade, because Gigi is useless when you have only one life. True! Oopsies.
She also thinks that Drya is still alive, which...
Drya is definitely still alive.
So maybe the White Lady is just senile. My problem with that theory is that the White Lady states that the vessels stand out to her clearly in a misted world, due to them being her spawn. She also questions whether or not the Knight sought her aid, which would imply that the Knight must have some kind of will. So for whatever reason, the White Lady thinks the Knight is still capable of containing the Radiance, even if it's still able to make decisions. After all, the Hollow Knight was considered pure, but they still taught it how to wield a fucking sword. I mean, if the Knight were truly and completely hollow in a literal...
Basically, I have one game that I played through, and 3 or 4 extra streams, and that's it. I have not been streaming on this platform long at all. when was my first YouTube video that I uploaded? Because like a week before that was my first stream as well, so let's just check this. No, 2 weeks before that was my first stream. Yeah, for like I've been streaming for 1 month now.
sense, it probably shouldn't even be able to walk, or draw a map, or open a goddamn bank account. In short, this whole concept
You're a
of being
scammer,
hollow
Millie
is so
Bell.
abstract and hard to define. I don't really feel
I
comfortable giving
wanted to fill the bank with 4,500 geo. Maybe because I thought it could be an achievement. But no, she left. At the moment it's more fun than career, but I'm trying to get it to career. You played basketball with her? You can kill her?
a solid answer on whether or not the knight is or isn't truly hollow, and I think the game leaves room open for other interpretations.
What? She scammed me. I found her back in the City of Tears. Yeah. Thank you, Eva Henry. Yeah, I did find her. I
Of
put
course,
like
the White Lady's
3,000
gift
geo
is
in her
useless
account.
without the other
And
half
then
of
she
the King's
disappeared
Soul. In
into
order
City
to
of
reach it,
Tears.
however, the knight
What do you mean, try anything? I found her back in the spa. I talked to her and then I left. Open. Why? Okay, I'm going. I'm going. Don't worry. Okay. We gotta fix this. What do you mean we gotta fix this? No thank you, Eva Henry. I have already gotten offers like that, and they have never been, like, actually good offers or truthful offers. Yeah, I let her get away with it. Why not? Where are we? Yeah. Wrong station. King Station. Thank you very much. Let's go. Why should I kill her? Wait, I'm not the right place. Ah! Ah, where am I going? Right, I'm at the wrong house, am I? I definitely am. Huh? Huh? Hello. You're still here. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going. Going to catch the pleasure house. How do I enter the pleasure house again? We don't have that in Atlantis. Actually, we do, but I don't like talking about them. There we go. Hello. Songstress Marissa. I did take her soul. I thought I was freeing people. I still think that I'm freeing people when I take their souls. Wait, you're gonna hate me if I show you something. Pleasure house. Look. Well, you're gonna hate me for something else then. Hello. Oh. Well, she doesn't die. That's gonna take a long time. I put like 3,000 in her account. I should have brought her to the songstress. Go in the silent corner. Why the silent corner? Because there's no one singing any longer. She also multiplies it by some number. Oh damn. You get more than what you gave her. Give me Geo. I put 3,000 into your account. Give me Geo. She just has to recharge. Damn, how much money do you have? Am I the only person you scammed, or did you scam the Pale King as well? Are you now empty? Yeah. Stupid. What? I can't talk to her. Wait, you know what? Okay, like this. She had scammer in her name already. The thief. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think that would be best. I think it would be best for you to never steal from me again. You know? And now you despawned the money that you left up there. That's fine, I don't care. I have 14,000 Geo. I don't need more. What was I doing before this? Apart from the stream. Did I want... Oh, sorry. My bad. Right, I wanted to show you something. It went to Thief before already when I met her without hitting her. Yeah, it did. For me, it did. The moment she spawns in here, she's a thief. Nah, I'm not tweaking. You be tweaking. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. You didn't have to hit her for that. What do you mean, obviously? King's Station. Wait, not there. That's the way to the Kingdom's Edge. No. Okay. I gotta show you something. I did something because I thought it could be an achievement, you know? In the resting grounds. I might have killed... I might have killed every single spirit in the Spirit's Glade. It was fun. Hello! I didn't dodge her. I found out I can just parry her. It didn't work often. I died like 4 times or 5 times. But I parried her. I didn't dodge her. Because I didn't have the Shadow Cloak at that moment. And I had like only 6 hearts. Where did you say... Now that we're already in-game. Now that we're already in-game. Yeah. She deals 2 damage, so 3. City and Bastion for key. Yeah, that's not the thing I wanted to know right now. Where is the White Knight? Zamir. If we're already here, where is Zamir? Oh. Huh. Okay. Oh yeah, sorry, I wanted to look for Zamir, right? The empty graves are definitely not unnerving at all. It was so full of life before, right? Sure. Definitely not evil. Definitely not killing a lot of helpless spirits. They did not deserve it. I would argue. But I did it anyways. No! Damn it. Yes. Why should I not extinguish them? Basically, yes. Wait. What do you mean deserved? What do you mean deserved? Just because I killed a few people. Damn. I never folded trying to get those essences. Me neither. I died once trying to get essences down in Deep Nest. Okay, I heard the tree grow. Skill issue. What do you mean skill issue? Okay, here there's a known saying about this stuff. What do you mean? Picnic. Nick Pig picnic. Problem in chair, not in my computer. Down. Okay. Right all the way. Did I not do that already? I guess I... Yeah. Do I have to go up? What chest? This one. Oh my god, I see it! Oh my god. Oh my god! Well... Hello, Zamir. Grey Mourner. Mahon. This world, this cruel, sinful world. Why does she wake? Why does she persist? Ah, Lemaire, you could not know of a tragedy as complete as she's. True lovers stripped apart, two worlds that could not meet. This is how foreigners speak. And now, melt lover, that's so long in time, that's so far away, buried, Mina, I, amongst its hateful kin that did deny our union, that did reject his outsideness. She doesn't suppose, Nalo, could you ask? Could you burden? Lemaire, couldn't you deliver gift to her grave? The gift is maybe small, but the trek is long. She rests among her kind, near our queen's lush refuge. Would such a thing be done? She asks perhaps impossible things, mad things. For Lemaire to take up such quest would be a kindness she has near forgotten. I'll do that. Rare boon. I heavily suggest you don't accept it. Well, 1 second too late. Rare boon you grant, Lemaire. It will be just last request. After this, never shall lay burden on another. A sacred flower is the offering. It is a rare, delicate object, one of a kind. You must cherish it, must act as though it were your own heart. Probably like Godseeker. If you were to get hurt whilst carrying it, then tell me, or did to attempt ride those jolting transit beasts, it would forever be destroyed. Her grave lies in the middle of Queen's overgrown estate. It is surrounded by her kind who will not look kindly on your trespass. Get to the dead mantis spirit's grave. No! Get to the dead mantis spirit's grave. No hit. Ow. Take care, Lemaire. My hopes are placed upon you, and my fervent wish that this small solace may come to pass. Wait, you mean... Don't... And if it gets destroyed, what happens then? What happens then if I get hit? Oh, so this is a repeatable quest at least. Is it? Please tell me that I don't have just one chance. You know what? Because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get hit on my first attempt. What's up? Flower destroyed. Okay. Let's go back. Let's see if I can get a new flower. If I can, everything's alright. If I can't, well, shit. Do I have the destroyed flower in my inventory then? No. I just have nothing. Hello. Oh, wait! She's sacred, precious, one of its kind flower. Ruined. She's loved, denied her final gift. Such suffering for her, such misery. She thought she could bear no more. I suppose she does have one more flower though. But Lemire, this one is equally sacred and equally fragile. Where's one to accept such quest? It must become a precious heart. Would such a thing be tired? Would be tried? Yeah, sure. Okay, fine. I'll do that next time. This was supposed to be a lore stream. We're gonna continue with the lore stream. We went off track way too many times already.
Must travel to the White Palace, locked inside the body of a king's mold. In order to bypass the seal, the knight must use a fully awakened dream nail. It can do this by bringing 1800 essence to the seer, allowing her to sharpen the weapon's blade. If the knight does this, the seer remarks that the knight truly is the wielder that her tribe has been dreaming of. There's no explicit
I added the ADHD tag to today, okay? It's understandable.
Reason why the Moth tribe was dreaming about this supposed wielder so much, but it seems like they believe the wielder would wash away the crimes the Moth tribe committed by turning their backs on the Radiants. The seer seems to know that the knight might kill the Radiants, and she seems accepting of it, ready for her and her tribe to disappear and be forgotten forever. With the awoken dream nail in hand, the knight can travel to the Pale King's refuge and locate the other half of the King's Soul charm. When equipped, the King's Soul provides a never-ending supply of soul, making it almost useful if it weren't for the insanely high cost of the charm, and the painfully slow rate at which it increases, and the fact that the charm will get replaced in about 5 minutes after you get it. You didn't miss a lot, don't worry. The King's Soul charm itself symbolizes the...
I just started the video back up like a minute ago. No, you didn't miss a lot. Yeah, I did quit because it did. I checked. Okay, I checked what happens if I destroy the flower. Then I went back, got another flower, and then quit because I didn't want to continue right now. I want to do a lore stream. I'm gonna do that next time.
Union between two higher beings. To me, this implies that the King's Soul is a representation of a vessel.
Because if I do get the simple key, I will also want to go into the cocoon, and then then I'm gonna start doing the God Secret quest and so on, and that's gonna take too much time, and I don't want to do that right now.
Which also was created by the union of two higher beings.
Shut up!
With the King's Soul in their inventory, the knight now gains access to an area in the abyss called the Birthplace. In this massive pile of vessel shells, the knight can find a giant egg. Dream nailing the egg allows the knight to access its own memory when it was cast down into the abyss. From viewing that memory, the King's Soul charm is replaced with the Void Heart charm. The recollection of this event allows the knight to come to terms with the...
I don't stream much longer than 3 hours usually, or at least not yet. I might change that at some point, but for now it's gonna be around 3 hours.
Void inside itself. Once the knight has the Void Heart, the shades in the abyss no longer attack it, and that strange creature that gives the knight the Shade Cloak calls it the Lord of Shades. In other words, the knight has now bound the once fragmented Void under its own will, allowing it to control the Void in a powerful new way. With the union of the Void, the Pale King, and the White Lady, the knight has gained a strength before unseen. It is with this charm that 2 additional endings become unlocked. Hornet will now be standing outside of the Black Egg, offering to help the knight should the opportunity arrive. Midway through the fight with the Hollow Knight, Hornet rushes into battle, subduing the Hollow Knight and piercing its shell. It's at this point that the knight is given the perfect opportunity to enter into the mind of its sibling, fighting the source of the infection head on, and finally putting an end to the Radiance's tyranny. Or it can just stand there and let Hornet get knocked unconscious. If the knight finishes off the Hollow Knight as usual, the sealed sibling ending occurs. Basically, it's the same as the Hollow Knight ending, but now Hornet is in the room too, and her face appears on the door of the Black Egg. It's not clear what exactly this means for Hallownest. This might imply that Hornet is now a dreamer, but she's inside the temple. meaning that no one can actually get in there to kill her should the Knight ever start leaking infection. At the same time, Hornet mentions that the bindings of the Black Egg would drain her, so she's probably just going to die anyway, right? Generally, people consider this to be one of the worst endings, but it's worth pointing out that Team Cherry doesn't support any one ending as being the true ending. Each ending is canonical in its own right, and honestly, this ending isn't the worst. At least the Knight and Hornet will get to spend some quality time together. If the Knight does dream of the Hollow Knight, it will be taken to an arena where it can finally fight the Radiants head on. But the Knight isn't alone, as the other shades from the Abyss will appear in order to help corner the Radiants.
My siblings.
Eventually the Radiance gets trapped in the tendrils of the Void. The Knight bitch slaps her a couple times, and then the Radiance is consumed into the darkness. The Black Egg then appears to turn to shadows and the Void seeps down into the ground. Hornet awakens to find the Knight's broken shell lying on the floor. We get one final shot of the Shades in the Abyss going to rest, and the game is over. This ending is called the Dream No More ending. The Radiance is gone, and Hallownest is finally free from her infection. Now I think it's fair to ask a few questions about how the Dream No More ending comes about. When the Hollow Knight was initially chosen to become the pure vessel, the Abyss was sealed up and the rest of the vessels were left to rot away. But somehow, vessels ended up outside of the Abyss, and then one of those vessels was used to replace the Hollow Knight. Exactly how much of this operation was planned, if at all? The White Lady was waiting for a vessel. Did she have any communication with Hornet? Hornet was guarding the King's Brand, the only way for a vessel to enter the Abyss. How did she know it was necessary to guard the King's Brand from weaker vessels? Hell, if the vessels did escape the Abyss by themselves, wouldn't it be pointless to guard the King's Brand, since the vessels could just creep back into the Abyss the same way? I'm not going to provide any good answers to these questions, because God forbid I answer anything in this entire video.
Oh, then I'm gonna...
But I do want to point out that no plans to
Oh yeah,
actually
these are
produce
the
the
other
Dream
two
No More
endings.
ending.
Okay, no, I'm
are
not gonna do, not gonna watch this last piece then.
explicitly
We're gonna
stated
figure them out
in-game.
on our own then.
So we can only speculate as to whether or not the White Lady or Hornet, or maybe even the Pale King, knew that they could defeat the Radiants by creating a Lord of Shades like the Knight.
Yeah, I know that there's 4 DLCs. I did look at the extras. There's the Lifeblood DLC, apart from the Godseeker and the Troop Master, the Grim Troop DLC. There's the Lifeblood DLC, which is just some tweaks, I guess. It was just some changes to bosses and making the game a little bit harder. And there was the very first DLC, which was oh right, Lifeblood added the Hive. Correct. I did do the Hive already though. And I killed the Queen as well. Basically I killed every single... Oh, Hidden Dreams, right. No, it was Hidden Dreams, Grim Troop, Lifeblood, Godmaster. That's what it's in the extras at least. By the way, I killed every single spirit I came across. Lifeblood is first? Are we that sure about that? I know that at least you think so. Okay, let's check it. We're not gonna watch any videos anymore today. The lore stream is done. I have to change my Twitch chat color at some point because I noticed that the purple is not good when playing darker games. I need to get a lighter color. And where's Hollow Knight? Let's check it. You know what? Let's grab the simple key. You're completely wrong? Was I right? Was I right with Hidden Dreams, Grim Troop, Lifeblood, Godmaster? Hidden Dream, August 2017, Halloween 2017, Lifeblood, and then Godmaster. Yes. Delulu. Delulu gamer. Okay, let's go check the keys. Literally in order. Yeah, I know. I'm not gonna do the flower thingy right now. We can do the flower thingy at some other point of time. Yeah, so the key. The flower we're gonna do some other time. I don't care if the flower gets destroyed right now. Oh. What? You cannot use the stag beetle for the flower? That is crazy. That is crazy. Flower destroyed. What the hell? That is such a difficult thing then. Oh my god. I will have to watch a tutorial for that. By the way, I did the flower quest first try. Damn. That is crazy. So there's a simple key in here? Was there one supposed to be here? This room? Okay. I probably got it already then, because I can't see any key. So it's in the ancient basin. Look along the right side. I did. Want me to check in here as well? What do you mean below? No, in here was spirit tree only. I think I've already collected this one, maybe. Basin key it is. Hidden station. Right, the weavers were here. I was not tripping. The weavers were at the hidden station. Huh. Why were the weavers at the hidden station? That's weird. So, that's why. Okay. So where is the key? So is the seal of binding? Oh, okay. It's a brokey. Okay. Let's go to brokey. Right. Ah! Brother! Was brother over here? Hello, brokey. What's up? Go through it in reverse because it's near the end of it. Here. You mean here? Or the... this one on the right side. Down under. So here. Australia style. Down under. Oh, up here. No, wait, this is the way back. Up. So here. Hello, you stupid little ghosts. Where is it? Is it here somewhere? It's an alternate path downwards from main way. So is it on the right or on the left side of this path down? Okay, it's on the left side. Ah! God damn it. I hate this. You see what I mean? Okay. I cannot see anything. Hello. Oh. Oh, damn. Okay. That is a cool hidden secret. Why did I not see it last time? I guess it just... Random ass key spawn. Yeah. Well, it technically is on a non-optional route, so... people should find it. I have no idea how I did not find it. Because when people are in there... actually, I was really happy in that moment. I was like, oh, this is so awesome. This area is amazing and very easy. I had explored deepness in its entirety already. Yeah, this area was really easy for me because this is the last area for me. This was my last area I had. They were really easy. The one that the second one that I fought right now was very not easy. I was new. It was the first time I saw these small lurks, but I had already completed the trial of the fool at that point. So I did the trial before coming down here. What do you mean you haven't done Colosseum? In that moment when you were here the first time? Yeah. Oh, you didn't do it yet. But with the double jump and the dash cloak, it should be kind of easy. Right? Because of that stupid part. Yeah, I know. I died then. When I did that, I had to try like 7 times until I beat it. But you know, there's a wise character in this game that often says a very specific phrase that you should just accept in this one, and that character is Hornet. I could say it. Geht gut! Adidas. Okay. But this is the end of the stream for today. Because... oh, I don't wanna... Also... she says get good once. Every time you have to try you try to finish the game, she says it. Once. Because she says it in every single Hollow Knight fight. No, it would... yeah, if you want to do the Radiance fight, you can also do the other ending. But, yes. Anyways. Oh, you haven't done the Sealed Siblings yet? Or Radiance? Okay. I've done that today. So, now that the stream ends, you're gonna do that. You're gonna beat the Radiance. You can do it. Yeah, you can. What do you mean, nope? Just use the charms that I have equipped. Look. I'm gonna. No. I'm busy raging over Silksong. You haven't finished Hollow Knight yet. Beat Radiance, then you can rage over Silksong again. Okay, yeah, you have. The Hollow Knight is a canon ending. It is, you beat Hollow Knight. You did that already. You're right. Absolutely. God of H2O! That is amazing, I love that. I am Neptune Aurora, the god of H2O, because the god of the sea is not acceptable. Literal waterbed. Hey, yo, what do you mean nothing more? I'm also the king of horses. Thank you very much. I am gonna stop the stream for today. Everyone, see you. Yeah, my model is a water droplet, but it's not my only model. We are working on a humanoid god model. Okay, it's gonna take a lot of time, a lot of time. But I am getting a VTuber model at some point. Be prepared. But until then, see you all tomorrow, my slimes, and have fun. Just use a Wikipedia image. No, I'm not. I know that joke. People do that joke to me often. I'm not gonna. I have this. No. Bye bye. See you all tomorrow.